Welcome to the stream, my friends. The top 4 of the ECL Season 4 Finals is here. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the players. Welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're all staying safe. And I'm here to entertain. Let's have some fun today. It is going to be the top 4, so only 4 players will be playing in today's Grand Finals. And if we take a look, it is going to be A-Move Hacker, who is in the top 4 with a victory over Zablaski last week. And he's going to be facing off against Flying Taco, who of course was able to defeat Talaxla and Soothsayer. Certainly a very impressive feat. So it's going to be A-Move Hacker and Flying Taco in our first game. And next we have Felcon facing off against Imperator. So Felcon, of course, has won ECL Season 1 and Season 3. So Felcon, of course, is defending his strap today. But yeah, should be quite a bit of fun. And he's facing off against Imperator, who did come in with a victory over Ark in the Black. Very, very solid stuff. So welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you're all doing well. This is it. This is time. And after this, we're going to be doing more tournaments as well in the coming weeks. But this is essentially the culmination of the ECL Season 4. So welcome, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the first match. Flash Tourney Battle Cards. There it is. So in Game 1, A-Move Hacker has opted to go with the Lizards, and he's going to be facing off against Flying Taco's Tomb Kings. So a matchup that I think is actually a little bit tricky for the Dinos. I've always felt that this one is slightly Tomb King favored. Not like so much that it's unwinnable. And of course, Lizards have an extremely diverse roster. So I think they have some tools to win this, but it's a tricky one for sure. But of course, A-Move Hacker has been bringing out some pretty wild builds in the past couple weeks. So very excited to see this. And thank you so much, King Agizal, for the $5 donation. Hopefully you enjoyed the metal intro as always. Here we go. Yeah, I think Tomb Kings are Vampire Coast. I mean, not Vampire Coast, top tier. I don't know. I read your message, but I do think Tomb Kings are a top tier faction. I think they would qualify as what people say is S tier. Vampire Coast I actually think is a little bit weaker than Tomb Kings because they have more bad matchups in my opinion. Whereas Tomb Kings maybe only has like 1 or 2 matchups that are a little bit tricky. But yeah, they're both really good factions. Tomb Kings and Coast are both top tier, hands down. So are Skaven and Dark Elves. I don't know, Dark Elves. Yeah, they just got a lot of good stuff as well. So it's hard to say, but yeah. A tier list for another day. First map is going to be Altdorf Outskirts. A-Move Hacker against Flying Taco to decide who will be going on to the Grand Finals to play for $200 US. So for today's prize pool, it is going to be $200. Winner takes all. So yeah, they're going to be scrapping, bringing those competitive builds. It's going to be a good time. So guys, adjust my microphone real quick. All right, guys, back in business. Altdorf Outskirts is going to be the first map here. One of the best multiplayer maps in my opinion. It's pretty well balanced. Both players have adequate terrain, which is always important. It's kind of like when you go to play Warhammer 40k, like having balanced terrain for both sides. I remember when I first started playing, I would go and play with other players who were like kind of beginners, and you know, your opponent would get there first. They'd be playing like Imperial Guard, and you would notice that the table was just like a turkey shoot. It was just like a wide open field, and your like army that was a melee focus would just have to march through it. But yeah, no, you gotta make sure that there's always good terrain, and or at least it's equally balanced. In this game, of course, it's not as important as Warhammer 40k, but it still does matter. So Altdorf Outskirts is going to be the first map. Could see some sneaky Vanguard tricks here in the forest. Probably not too much, though. It is going to be Tomb Kings versus Lizards, so Lizards might have some Vanguards. Maybe the Popcorn Cohort. God, that one's always so hard, especially when you first wake up. I actually just got up like 30 minutes ago. I woke up like right before the stream started, so we're just getting the brain going now, so bear with me, guys. It's always the first game of the day. And it looks like the players are indeed loading in. Maybe some connectivity issues, hopefully not on my end today, but from what I've been reading online, I was actually watching Day 9's content, and I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he's an old school creator, great guy. And yeah, he was saying that he's been having a lot of issues with his upload rate and different things like that. So I would imagine people across the globe are having some issues with their internet. So hopefully we won't be afflicted with such a curse today. I'm going to minimize here real quick and make sure there's no drama with the internet here. Looks like we're good. All right. So for the army of A-Move Hacker, he's got Skinks in the front line, going very heavy metal dinos. So 2 Skinks, he does also have the cohort of Sotek, and he does have the minimum army size, which is good. And he does have Lord Mazda Mundi, so Mazda's coming in on his mighty beast here. He does have Apotheosis and Harmonic Convergence, so because there's no Nets, I feel like Nets is just like even if you don't really plan on using it, I feel like having it in your back pocket is just always super good. But yeah, nonetheless, Mazda is really powerful. He does also have a big old T-Rex here. So he's got a, oh no, not already. We'll see if this stabilizes here. Yeah, should be fine. We have a Sara Scar Veteran as well, and he does have the Potion of Strength. So if you guys haven't seen this, the Sara Scar Veteran can do some crazy stuff. He can actually give himself plus 50% weapon damage and plus 50% armor piercing damage. So for a short period of time, this guy can become pretty scary when he's fighting like enemy constructs and things like that, and it is no joke. On top of that, guys, we do have a Skink Priest of Beasts, but basically he's just been brought to be a ballista. I'm surprised he didn't bring like a Skink Chief. I wonder what the advantage of bringing the Priest over the Chief is. But basically this guy's an anti-Ushapti Great Bow, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is the short range one. So he actually is the machine gun ballista. You can see here the Howdah on the top. These are like the machine gun ones that are pretty good for crowd clearing. And honestly, this thing's not bad in combat against single entities, and it's also better against infantry than a Carnosaur. So I like that pick. I think it's pretty cool. Over here we do have Powhawks of Sentinels. We have some Ripperdactyls, and on the far side we do also have the Colossedon Hunters. That's pretty wild. I mean, they're going to be able to tear apart these carrion pretty quickly. And of course, Colossedon Hunters, I've done some testing with them in the past. If they're able to isolate a construct or a single entity without other like spears or skeletons or other things nearby causing problems, they can really tear things to shreds. Like, it's insane, especially when they pop the Toad Rage. Let's go ahead and pop here. You can see Toad Rage gives them a massive damage boost. It does make them rampage, but you can pretty much counteract that with Cold Blood, so it's not terribly devastating. So good luck, have fun being dropped by the Taco. Taco does indeed have 2 carrion. He has, oh, look at this, the Iro Titan coming in hot. He does also have a Screaming Beam Catapult, Arc in the Black on foot, I think. Yes, a Necrotect as well. He has the Eyes of the Desert, it looks like, maybe? Yeah, no, just regular Sepulchral Stalkers, a couple Spears, Kepler Guard, and on top of that, he does have a couple Skeleton Spearmen himself. So the battle's underway. The Screaming Beam Catapult doesn't have too many targets, to be frank. Can shoot at some of these skink cohorts and other things like that, but really, a lot of this is going to come down to the monster fight. Taco does also have a Khemrian War Sphinx, so no true dedicated anti-large monster like the big old Sphinx of Usef there, but nonetheless, this thing can do some work. And Arc in the Black is going to be dropping Spirit Leeches. Libra Mortis, of course, will be very nice here, but he's got to be careful. Mazda does, of course, have Banishment plus Ruination of Cities. So a Ruination of Cities plops are like right in the middle of this box. Is almost guaranteed to get some pretty good value, honestly. It'll hit Kepler Guard, it'll probably hit some Spears and Halberds, and that could be very, very devastating for sure. But yeah, the Titan's coming, so it's going to be very much a monster mash battle. Going to be trying to make sure that, if A-Move can't get the good engagements with the Colossedon Hunters and his other Ripperdactyls, I think that Taco should be fine, but that's really going to be the deciding factor, in my opinion. I'm surprised there's not one Ushapti Great Bow. You pretty much always see that, just to kind of poke down some of those big dinos, but in this case, he's going for a very unorthodox build. So the first Shem's Burning Gaze does come in from the big old Titan, blasting into Lord Mazda Mighty's thick hide, and the Screaming Beam Catapult is now shooting at the cohort of Sotek, which is a very good choice. Those guys are pretty good value. They're poison, decent AP values, unbreakable, have some pretty good attributes, and the first of the fighting's underway, so Shield of the Old Ones is active, and the Khemrian War Sphinx is going to be heavily outnumbered here, as the Sora Scar Veteran coming in with a Potion of Strength. So A-Move Hacker blowing the load very, very quickly here, but it seems to be paying off. Look at this. You can see that the Khemrian War Sphinx taking huge damage. A Banishment coming down as well on top of the Kepler Guard. Really, really nice start so far from A-Move Hacker. In the meantime, Colossedon Hunters have jumped down, and they're now going after the Sepulchral Stalkers, and man, they're tearing these Stalkers to shreds. Taco needs to get these spears into combat and have him help out against Ripperdactyls. Look at that, another group of Ripperdactyls coming in the back, getting a full surround on Sepulchral Stalkers. Brutal damage coming in. Now, as far as the monster fight goes, the Khemrian War Sphinx, I believe, was able to get away. It did pull away from that engagement. Arc in the Black has dropped what appears to be a Fate of Beauty here with the Red Crested Skinks. And now is the time for the fight back here for the Tomb King. So Sepulchral Stalkers do get the restore. Khemrian War Sphinx is going after Ripperdactyls as well. And the big old Titan is basically just waiting after the Skink Priest of Beasts, and it has done some pretty good damage. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. And the Ripperdactyls are now pulling back, and it looks like there's going to be a Spirit Leech going down as well. So Arc in the Black certainly getting very aggressive with his Winds of Magic, using this, I believe, on the Colossedon Hunters, who I think are able to maintain most of their model count here. A little bit tricky. Guys. But so far, so good. Balance of power is pretty darn even up in the sky. You can see some of the Carrion are chasing down the Powhawks of Sentinels, and down the ground fight, Arc in the Black's in good shape. The Khemrian War Sphinx is very mobile. It's obviously able to outmaneuver many of these dinosaur units. With its 68 speed, it can outrun the Stegodons. Of course, the Carnosaur can catch it, but now we have the big old Titan coming in, and this Titan is kind of like a giant, and giants typically trade pretty effectively against single entities if they can catch them. So it's interesting. We've been seeing this quite a bit. I mean, of course, there is a prize pool on the line, and I think he's brought this as a serious pick, and it's been doing pretty good, I guess. Big HP pool has 8,000 left, but it is being triple teamed right now. So Maz the Bunny, Skink Priest, as well as the Sora Scar Veteran are getting in there. And as far as the ground fight goes, Tomb Kings are doing pretty good. They got Skeleton Spears into the Sunset. Ark in the Black is in good shape as well. And yeah, there's really no skinks to speak of here. I think we have the cohort of Sotek with 2 models over here. The Kepra Guard really cutting them to pieces. None left. Ushapti Summon going down as well. And this is going to be very powerful. The Ushapti Summon behind the dinos is going to be pretty impactful. If they can like pin in Maz the Bunny or something like that, or trap in one of the dinos in combat here with the Iroh Titan. Over here we do have Ark in the Black and the Necrotech going over here, looking to be hunting down the Sora Scar Veteran, but the Scarvet coming in for the kill, going after the Khemrian War Sphinx. This guy is getting a restore, going to be a little bit tankier, but nonetheless that is going to be a matchup that heavily favors the Sora Scar Veteran. However, it looks like the Titan, the Necrotech, and Ark in the Black, 3 very powerful single entity beings here, are going to be coming in, attacking the Sora Scar Veteran in the back, and maybe they're going to be able to stabilize here. This is actually a really big change for the Tomb Kings, because now the Scarvet is isolated amongst some very powerful units here, and the Lizards have no buffering. So basically, once the Ripperdactyls and other mobile units go, or if they die, the single entities for the Lizards are going to have to stay still in combat, and there's still a ton of spears left. There's Skeleton Spears here and here, and it looks like there's going to be a Banishment going down. But look at this, the Ushapti Summon and just some Skeleton Spears are able to almost break off the Skink Priest. That is devastating. Really nice Banishment coming in from Amu Packer. He is able to banish out a bunch of these Skeleton Spears, it looks like, and lead them to crumbling, so that might actually help him getting rid of those guys, but the Scarvet is forced back. Maz the Bunny's on the hunt. It seems like Taco's doing a really good job getting his Khemrian War Sphinx, excuse me, and basically just kiting with it. Like the whole game, the Lizards have been just beelining, trying to finish that thing off, and the whole time, some of the other units like Ark in the Black and the Necrotech, as well as this big old Titan, have just been kind of laying a whooping on the units as they do chase here. So, guys. Sorry about that, just had to clear my throat a little bit. Wanted to spare you guys. Nonetheless, though, Lord Maz the Money's on a little bit of trouble. Big old Titan's coming in, and Titan does have good AP values. 550 is certainly no joke. Screaming Meme Catapult, breaking the leadership of the Ripperdactyls, and it looks like Tomb Kings are going to be taking that first game as the Immaculate Kite with the Khemrian War Sphinx was just really, really on point. Of course, the Skinks breaking, there was no ground force to really sustain, which allowed the Spears to fully surround many of the constructs. And from there, the Khemrian War Sphinx was like only just killed at the very end. It makes me think like maybe... what could the target priority have been for the Lizards? Could they have gone after something else? I mean, going after the Titan, it is slower, but it's much tankier, of course. So killing that with the restores is tricky. It's a tough situation. I thought Amuf had some really nice initial plays, getting his Ripperdactyls and coming down and really crumping the Sepulchral Stalkers. That was really nice, for sure. But alas, it just wasn't enough. The Titan was quite ferocious. The sustainability of the 2 Footlords makes him very tough to snipe as well. And yeah, that's that. So that is going to be game 1 here. For the next map, let's go ahead and switch it up. We are going to be on... let's do Central Chaos Space. That's always a classic. So that is game 1 for the Taco. He rises. Of course, Flying Taco coming off a victory over Talaxlon Soothsayer. Yeah, the Ripperdactyls are really expensive, if you think about it. Zablasky, there was 1 skeleton summon, I think, from Ark in the Black. Not too many, though. But yeah, that's the thing. Ripperdactyls are really expensive. Colossodon Hunters cost 1,500 gold, which essentially is like the same as one of those big constructs. It's the same as the Khemrian War Sphinx. So if they don't like value in that way, or, you know, have a really big impact on the battlefield, they weren't even able to kill the Stalkers. The Stalkers did live to the late game. It was a nice play. And had he been able to finish off the Stalkers in that burst, it could have been really nice, but he wasn't able to. And he also took a lot of damage on the return. Of course, the Stalkers are anti-large specialists. So maybe if Amuf had been a little bit more conservative with the Flyers, like for example, when the Khemrian War Sphinx was initially pinned, had the Flyers gone behind it and pinned it in, I think he could have killed it there with the Sora Scarvet plus a Ripperdactyl. So maybe a play like that could have been a little bit better, but it's all easy to say in hindsight. It's very hard to execute for sure. That is going to be game 1 here. We're doing it. Thanks, guys, for joining. We have a donation coming in from Aneurysm Sauce of $10 and Protoman for $2. Thank you guys so much for your donations here on stream. It is the Arrow Titan. Yes, it is. One sec, guys. One of my dogs is barking. Gonna take care of it. Gonna take care of that dog. As in, give them some pets and love. All right, guys, back in business. Yeah, the Flyers are a big risk for sure. So Flying Taco in this game is going to be going Vampire Coast and banning Dawi and Empire. And now Brain, aka A-Move Hacker, is going to be picking the High Elves here. So we have High Elves being picked, which is kind of cool. You don't get to see them terribly often, but we'll see what A-Move Hacker has in store for the Great Flying Taco. And now we're going into Game 2. And of course, after this, we have Falcon versus Imperator. And then from there, we have a glorious best of 5 between the winner of these two best of 3s. So while the players pick their armies, we're just going to hang out and chat. Hope you're all doing well. If we get a Dawi win, I'll donate again. Unfortunately, I don't think we have too many dwarf players here. Falcon never plays dwarves. A-Move Hacker would be the only one to play dwarves, and he hasn't picked them this game, so we will see. Angela Twerkle says, I don't understand this. I have the bell button activated, but I still don't get a warning of this. Yeah, it's really weird. YouTube's been quite a troll for sure. Yeah, that's also what's really cool about the Arrow Titan is that when you do have it, it gives you extra Winds of Magic. So basically, or it has some augmentation for your Winds of Magic. So Arc in the Black becomes much more effective for sure. Yeah. And if we take a look at back at the brackets, so you guys can see the history here. Let's pull it up. Of course, A-Move Hacker coming off a victory over Zablaski, Flying Taco, a victory over Soothsayer, and then Falcon was able to defeat the Anticity and Imperator with a very tight series against Arc in the Black. So a lot of serious competition here. Very excited to be here, guys. Thank you for joining as we move forward into this good night. So Flash Journey battle scorecards. Here we go. Loading back in now. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see High Elves here. I do think High Elves have a good matchup here. I think most of those factions that have a very good Archer diversity and Archer power are very good against Coast. Because the Archers can shut down the gun lines, the Morngulls, the zombies, very, very, very effective against any of the monsters also. So I think what Vampire Coast has to do to beat this is have really good Scurvy dog harass and really good mortar play. But those are both like really tough styles, Being able to get past someone like a top tier player's defenses with Scurvy dogs is very tricky, especially since a lot of good High Elf players will defend their Archer lines using Reavers, and Reavers are almost as fast as the dogs, and they just handle them in combat, no problem. So. And yeah, I mean, Scurvy dogs I think cost like 500, or Reavers cost like 550. So basically, if you bring like 4 Reavers, they can counterplay the Scurvy dog play so well. It's very, very powerful. And if they don't bring Scurvy dogs, they're still a good backline harass unit / anti-zombie unit. So it's really, really not bad. But I'm really excited to see Taco's build. Of course, a couple weeks back in the Faction Wars, we saw some really crazy stuff. We got to see, against like missile builds, this Chinese player, Chosen of the Norns, he was bringing a double Rotting Leviathan, which was pretty nuts against like these missile factions, but he was able to endure with some really good micro. So that was pretty cool. I wonder if we'll see something like that from Taco, but I don't think so. I think we're going to see very traditional Vampire Coast play in the sense we'll see like mortars and Scurvy dogs and maybe like Count Noctilus or something. I don't know. Luther Archon's also very good here. So we'll see. We'll see how it's going to go. And welcome to the stream, guys. What's up, Aneurysm Sauce? Thank you again for the donation, man. It's going to be good. Arrows up in here. Man, this is a party. This is a party indeed. Yeah, Reavers are a very good cost-effective unit. One of the better units on the High Elf roster, in my humble opinion. That's some delicious water right there, guys. Stay hydrated in your lockdowns. It's getting pretty serious for sure, man. Been locked down here. Also, next weekend, guys, we're going to be having a faction war. I haven't really gathered the players yet for it, but I will be doing that over the course of the next few days. But I'm planning on having a faction war next weekend, which will be pretty cool. Oh, man, I'm going to sneeze here. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. Looks like Brain is ready. A-Move Hacker, good to go here against the dreaded Vampire Coast. Is it going to be Luther Harkin, the Mad Pirate, or shall it be Count Noctilus? Noctilus on foot here isn't bad also. He's pretty durable, brings a lot of summons, relatively cheap, allows you to go wider. A good defensive character. I'm always very partial to Luther because I've had so many games where he just carries so hard. Luther can really just bully like any... If your opponent goes with like any single entities, Luther's going to be able to bully them. He can Hornswoggle them, he can Pistol Blast them, he can go into melee combat poison with anti... Well, I don't think he has anti-large. I think Luther has really good AP values. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, his stats are so good, it doesn't really make much of a difference there. Central Chaos Wastes is the map. As we do load in, they're going to be fighting over this objective in the middle, I would imagine. This hill. I remember the days of playing Shogun 2 multiplayer, and there was actually capturable pieces on the battlefield that gave you like bonuses and things like that. It was kind of cool, actually. Although in Warhammer it'd be interesting. I don't know. I feel like certain factions would really be able to milk those, whereas other factions like Elves would just kind of get screwed, because like, how are you going to push Dwarves off a capturable objective, It's going to be tricky. It's going to take some time. Luther, I'm starting to think that Luther isn't the best pick. I mean, okay. let me preface this. Luther isn't bad in this matchup. He's still great, but I don't think he's the #1 pick in this matchup. I don't know. I've been on the fence about it because every time I pick Luther against Lizardmen, I find that he just gets hit with Tempest and just gets blasted by a bunch of like skinks and different things like that. So maybe bringing like Noctilus on his Colossus or Foot Noctilus would be a little bit better in the Dino matchup. Honestly, I'm starting to think Celestra might not be bad also because getting the Damned Knights Errant to chase down like Salamanders and skinks and things like that is usually not bad. So, yeah, and she's pretty good against dinos as well. Decent for clearing out hordes of infantry on her crab. So starting to experiment a little bit. I had a really good game. I actually played on Aerocrastic's King of the Hill stream a couple days ago. It was really fun. Had a pretty good run there. And in my final game, the one that was able to knock me off the King of the Hill was against Yale Nale. And he brought a really good lizard build with Salamanders and Tempest and was able to blast my Luther really effectively. So it kind of made me rethink my build a little bit in that matchup, which is good. It's good. I was definitely very happy to have the experience. So, and we're loading in here. Players should be in just a moment. And yeah, just about time. Have some more water here real quick. Oh yeah, it's going to be Celestra. And I actually like that. You know, high elves often do go very wide with archers. Now, some of the sisters could do some huge damage. And you can see here that A-Move Hacker does have the Everqueen's Court Guards. He does also have Sisters of Avalorn. So he's got plenty of tools to focus down big armor, but I would imagine that all the focus fire from the Vampire Coast will probably go down onto those units because, you know, aside from that, there's not too much in this army that's going to be really effective at all in dealing with Celestra. Although, who's his Lord choice? He does have Alariel the Radiant. Interesting choice. I mean, on foot, there's not too much to heal in this army. I mean, the Sisters and the Spears and things like that, I feel like maybe going with Techless could be a little bit more cost-effective here, but I guess he does have the Pyromane Company and a couple White Lions to heal, but there's nothing really elite for Alariel to heal, aside from the Everqueen's Court Guards and some of those other units. All right, guys, on the flank here for the Vampire Coast, what do we got? We got a couple Mournguls. Mournguls, of course, can chew through infantry pretty effectively, but I think that Taco is going to be using them as kind of a flanking unit. They are pretty quick. They have, I believe their speed, I always thought it was a little bit more than 45. But nonetheless, the Mournguls are going to be pressuring in here. But there's not too many good targets. Spearman and Lothern Seaguard are both pretty durable against Mournguls. Anti-large, charge defense, you know, the whole package here. For the rest of the Vampire Coast army, it is going to be Celestra Direfin, however you're supposed to say it. Zombie Pirate gunnery mobs in the front line. So a couple pistols in the front, going to be advancing. Zombies as well. Zombie. And he does have Lamprey's Revenge, 2 Crabs, Celestra, Vampire Caster, and a Vanguard of Scurvy Dogs, which is no surprise. Scurvy Dogs are just a staple in this matchup. Although I'm surprised, like on this map, you can actually bring Queen Bess. You just put Queen Bess like back here behind the hill, and then she's going to be line of sighted for the High Elves, and you can get some really good value. It's kind of a map-dependent pick. That's the thing about getting very familiar with maps. If you learn them all, you can actually pull some really crazy builds because you can utilize the terrain to like hide different things that normally would have a little bit of trouble hiding. Like had the High Elves gone with like Bolt Throwers, for example, you would be able to hide Queen Bess behind this hill, which is quite sneaky. Vampire Coast is going to be advancing up the hill here. Scurvy Dogs for Flying Taco. Looking to nip on the heels here of the Storm Riders. Oh, look at this, the Riders on the Storm. He's got the Storm Riders. It's kind of a cool pick. They can move and shoot, and of course are just better than regular Lothern Seaguard. Damage is, I think, the same. Actually, a little bit more, so they have 24 missile damage as opposed to 19 on the Lothern Seaguard here. But the Crabs are going to be tough to bring down. This is kind of one of the other schools of thought. Rather than playing the mortar build with Vampire Coast, you just bring a ton of armor and try and out-armor the missile damage. Because there's only 2 Sisters, so if, you know, Taco can find a way to chew down or at least mitigate the incoming fire from these Sisters of Avalorn, he could really just overwhelm his opponent with all this armor here. So Celestra is going to be coming in, and what's really cool about her is she can drop the summon of the Damned Knights Errant, and she does also have Tide Call, so she only has 1 spell from Lord of the Deep. Aside from that, all the magic probably is going to be used on the Vampire Fleet Captain, trying to get that attrition play and make sure to be able to heal up these big armored crabs. So Mournguls are coming in, taking a little bit of fire on the approach. Going to be jumping in on the Lothern Seaguard, but now the Sisters are shooting, and that's going to be a lot of damage coming in. Alariel, in the meantime, yeah, I feel like she's really an odd pick here. Granted, she does have Tempest, which is a hard counter against Luther, so that's quite strong. But now we have the fight here. Celestra is being attacked here by Reavers and Lothern Seaguard, but 2 archer units are tied up, but on that same note here, you can see Flying Taco is taking quite a bit of damage on the Mournguls. I would imagine that the Vampire Caster is going to come in here, drop a summon, which will really help Vampire Coast to win this matchup, and with the Mournguls coming in as well, it's going to be a tricky situation for the High Elves here, as they are going to get swarmed pretty darn hard. So the Damned Knights Errant are getting dropped right here. Nice drop right in front of the Sisters. Now, Sisters do magic damage with their ranged attacks, but not with melee. So as long as Flying Taco is pretty efficient at pushing in here, I wonder where he's going to go with him. Is he going to Rear charge here? No, he's got to go after the sisters. They're really the only big threat to his army. The crabs are going to be very, very durable here. You can see the rotting Prometheans, and I don't know if he has Lamprey's Revenge. I don't think he does. A nice Invocation going down as well, which is able to heal up Slaughter as well as some of these Morngulls a little bit. And in the back, the Scurvy Dogs, actually, so Flying Taco takes his Scurvy Dogs and actually commits, I think, 2 or 3 of them to take out a Reaver, which now opens up the back line. The Damned Knights Errant have been intercepted here by the Pyramid Company, which do not do magic damage, but for the most part, the sisters are able to get back. It seems like one group is here, the other one is trying to fall back. Might be a little bit kind of bogged up here, the Everqueen's Court Guard. But the crabs are pushing forward, and the Vampire Coast is completely able to collapse his flank. So as the current state of the battle looks, I think it's a little bit better for Vampire Coast, to be honest. The Morngulls crumping this whole flank is very, very strong. And from here, the Morngulls can sweep up and under, come around, and then push on the sisters. Tide Call going down as well, which does a little bit of damage. Not too much, but it does also trigger Frostbite. Not Frostbite, but a slowing effect, which could be helpful. And now comes Celostra, Deer Fawn, the Thick Fin, coming in and dropping the base here on Ilario, but she is able to get knocked back. That is kind of the advantage of Footlords. And Amufacker is able to get back with one of his sisters, and he is now shooting in. He's got 2 Lothern Seaguard shooting in as well. So he's got pretty good firepower, and of course the Pyramid Company is kind of a decent generalist unit as it pertains to, to AP. It's got 47 melee attack, it sunders the armor of its target, and it can punch down some of those crab units. I think that's why we're seeing the white line pick. That's okay. All right. So some of the archers are coming back in. The Everqueen's Court Guard a little bit exposed, though. This is actually quite scary. The Morngulls could potentially jump on them. They're isolated here in open field, and we can already see the balance of power is going more and more into the favor of Flying Taco's Armored Crab Rush. Celostra is in pretty good shape. I would imagine Invocations are in the back pocket as well. And most of the archer line here for the forces of the High Elves is pretty much shut down, and kind of like we talked about earlier in the match, if the Sisters of Avalorn are taken out early, and look at this, Morngulls are fighting Sisters, and yeah, the Sisters, the Everqueen's Court Guard aren't bad in combat. 47 and 60 is no joke, but they're not going to have a good time versus Morngulls. Morngulls are designed to kill such targets. They're a bonus versus infantry, they hit incredibly hard, and the archer line being shut down like this and having to constantly be on the run is a really big issue. And, you know, the Pyramid Company and the White Lines will only hold for so long against, like, triple Prometheans here, zombie summons, Scurvy Dogs, rear charging them. Things are getting very, very scary here for the High Elves. However, a big however, this is something I've seen happen before where the High Elves missile line kind of gets scattered by a very slow Vampire Coast build. But what then happens is the archers kind of scatter to the wind, and you can kind of notice that a bit of a concave is starting to form. Lothern Seaguard are shooting from the flanks here. If the sisters can kind of scatter in a couple different directions, maybe they might be able to pull apart the Vampire Coast. It's still going to be very tricky. I feel like Ilario was really kind of one of the weak links in this build. She hasn't really brought anything to the battlefield aside from an Earthblood and a Star, which really don't help too much here. Usually you see them being used on like Phoenixes or Dragons or things like that. But in this case, it seems like she's been a bit of, an out-of-place pick here. Granted, she's still not bad. Of course, healing up some of these units is good, but you can see an Earthblood going down, but what's that going to do? Nothing. And that is going to be game, and Flying Taco is going to be moving on to the Grand Finals with a 2-0 victory here. And guys, Flying Taco will face the winner of Falcon and Imperator in this next upcoming best of 3. So let's go ahead and update the scorecard. Yeah, really good swarming for sure. Really good swarming indeed. And now we'll go to the bracket. ECL Season 4 Finales bracket. And Flying Taco will advance up to face the winner of our bottom side of the bracket with Falcon and Imperator being our next match. So let's get this going. Yeah, it was pretty hard to come back from there. Absolutely. GG. Well played. See you in finals, Taco. Will Taco have to face his clanmate, Falcon, his good friend, or will he be facing the likes of Imperator, who's been an absolute terror? Very, very good player for sure. And now Falcon and Imperator, you guys are up. Let me go ahead and send those guys an invite. And cool. Thanks, guys, for joining today. Yeah, Techless would have been much better there. Being able to net down like some of the big threats, doing fire damage is always helpful, and yeah, he would just bring much more to the battlefield there. That is my opinion. And now, my friends, let me go ahead and tag them. So Falcon was saying he was having some computer issues, guys. Something was going wrong with his PC. He was having some connection lost, weird issues here and there. So there may be some crashing here. So we'll obviously, try and play it safe to the best of our abilities. But if he does crash, we're going to be, forgiving. We'll do what we can. And Imperator are up as well. Very cool. And thank you guys for all your support. It certainly helps us get through these hard times. The ad rates on YouTube are like the lowest they've been in a long time. It's pretty brutal for sure. So thank you all for your support. Really do appreciate it. Falcon is here. The man, the myth, the legend. Falcon, of course, the champion of Season 1 and Season 3 of the ECL. Season 2 was, of course, won by the great Zyphos. But this season, up for grabs. Could be Falcon, could be Imperator, could be Taco. We'll find out. We'll do Eshin for our first map. And Imperator is on his way. So we'll tag him, make sure he sees everything. Oh no, the bots have arrived. The true battle begins. Yes, the Slanesh hordes. Fight! Hold your ground! All right. Perfect. Perfect. Imperator is joining up now. And let's go ahead and update the nameplates while we wait. And we now know who's going to be where. So it is going to be Falcon on this side. Where art thy name? Taco with a very impressive series. Clearly coming off a hot victory over Talaxon Soothsayer is very warmed up. And now we have Falcon. Not Falcon. Wait, no. Imperator. Just getting the names backwards. Here we go. So it's ODM versus XMT here, guys. We got a little bit of a sub-clan war going on as well, which is always fun. Any extra narratives you can get to spin a fun story is a good thing. Falcon testing his connection and his PC and all that sort of good stuff. He was Falcon was actually MIA for about a week. He had some issues where he couldn't play for like the past week, so we'll see if it's affected him at all. Noah Scott asks, Turin, have you stocked up on toilet paper? We're pretty well equipped. We didn't even have to stock up. We actually just had like a couple big containers, like 2 or 3 before, so I think we're going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's so
being married.
Yes, it's the Wild West out there. It's the Wild West out there. One sec, guys. Yeah, we should definitely pay the winner in pasta, toilet paper, and beans and sanitizer. We'll see. We will see. Yes. Player 1. Let me check. Yes, Falcon. So Falcon is player 1 here, so he's going to be doing his pick and double ban. And then Imperator, of course, will do his picks from there, and we'll alternate. And we'll probably be using the new... although, I don't know, we'll probably do it with the same format we've done for previous ECLs. But for next season, I think we will be adding in the new Game 3 pick and ban system where the player picks 3. It's what you've been seeing, actually, in King of the Hill. So I definitely like it quite a bit. Although, you know, we can always check in with the players and see what they want to do as well. But I think doing the previous system would be good. Magic D, thank you so much for the 50, man. Good job with all the live content. Peace. Peace to you, man. And thank you so much for the very generous donation. Keep us going strong. So I'm going to be streaming every single day this week, I think, starting on Monday. I'm probably going to take tomorrow off, or probably not. I'm just saying that now, but I'm going to be trying to stream every single day. So if you guys are bored, I'm going to be doing streams all throughout the week, mostly Total War King of the Hills. We'll be having a 2v2 tournaments during the week, a couple other fun things as well. And of course, the next weekend, guys, we're going to be doing a faction war as well. So that's all coming up. Magic G, again, thank you so much, man. That's very, very generous. Really appreciate it. I've been seeing crazy videos from LA on the internet. You know what's really interesting? Is that, like, the market that's near us, like, none of the issues that you see in the rest of LA. Like, we have a Sprouts Market. I don't know if it's because it's kind of more isolated or if it's more expensive. Not really sure, but, like, yeah, it's looted to an extent. Like, you can't get a lot of the basics, like beans and pastas and things like that. But really, you can still get most good foods there. Like, it's not that bad. So, we've been able to stock up pretty effectively there. Falcon says he's going to pick Norska, banning Vampire Coast and Wood Elves. Interesting choice. I don't really know what Imperator's main factions are. Every time I played Imperator, he's crumped me pretty good with his Empire. That's the one that I've seen him do really well with. So he says, okay, the crowd can pick High Elves, Dark Elves, Vampire Coast, or Bretonnia. You know they're going to pick Bretonnia, Imperator. You know it's going to happen, man. It's going to be Bretonnia. So we'll see. Check stream chat MP. So I'm going to send Imperator to the stream right now so he can check the stream chat. But basically, Imperator has said, you guys choose. And the options are High Elves, Dark Elves, Vampire Coast, or Bretonnia. So just voice your opinion in chat. Imperator, what a hero of the people. $200 on the line, coming in hot, and letting you guys pick his faction. Oh, he wants me to let him know. Okay. Okay, it's Bretonnia. Yeah, there's a couple Vampire Count picks, but... Iron Panther, thank you so much for the $2 donation, man. Stream more for the lady. Yeah, of course it's going to be Bretonnia. It's Bretonnia. There you go, guys. So it's going to be Bretonnia against Norska, I think. Oh, man, this is going to be fun. I love Bretonnia. I've been playing them so much lately. Now, there's a couple matchups that feel unwinnable for Bretonnia, but there's some that, man, I really like Bretonnia's playstyle. I've been playing a Response campaign on my own time a little bit, and yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to make Bretonnia into one of my competitive picks, so I've been practicing a lot in multiplayer as well. There's a couple matchups I actually feel really confident in. I feel like I can beat most Beastmen, most Skaven with Bretonnia. Pretty confident against High Elves as well, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some decent picks with those guys. I really like using Knights of the Realm against Beastmen. They're so good against the pigs and minotaurs and things like that if you can get those good isolations. So it's going to be Bretonnia versus Norska here. Now, as far as matchup goes, I would say slightly favored maybe for Norska. However, well, maybe more than slightly favored. It used to be really bad for Bretonnia, but Gotrek and Felix, of course, are big difference makers. You can slap Gotrek in the front line, and he can chop down Famir and Giants and Mammoths somewhat effectively. So the matchup has changed with the advent of those two characters. I don't think we'll see Felix. I think we'll see Gotrek, perhaps. Yeah. That pick was just a very convoluted way to pick Bretonnia. You have to know that Bretonnia is going to get picked for sure. Mr. Pig, Pumbaa says, it's generally okay where I'm at, though some grocery stores have an hour at the start for people who are vulnerable to it, and they close earlier to sanitize the store. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Bretonnia versus Elves as well. Those are always pretty good matchups, so. I know. Imperator trying to win the hearts and minds of the people. Channeling your power. It's like the Roman, will the audience give him the thumbs up or the thumbs down here? We'll find out. So it looks like Imperator is ready. I'm really curious to see what he brings against Norska. I'm going to be taking some notes because I have been wanting to play more Bretonnia. Also, guys, this week, Falcon saying good luck, have fun then. So how it'll work if Falcon does crash because he said he was having some issues with his internet and his PC and stuff, basically players will get one like mulligan sort of. So if he crashes and then crashes again, his opponent will get a free win from there. Not for the whole match, but just for the game. And then we continue on. It's a bit of an unfortunate thing, but it can happen. Obviously, circumstantially, if there is a point where it's like very late game, the bounce of power is just absurd, we can make a judgment call from there. My discretion, or, obviously I'll talk to some of the mods and admins and stuff. But yeah, we'll play it by ear. And of course, these guys are both really good sports. So no matter what happens, I think it'll be pretty good. So for the forces of Falcon in the front line, we do have Marauder Horsemen, just the standard variant. These guys generally pretty cost effective. I found that they're really just cheap and just really, really good. So they can still kite. They can harass the back line. They can harass flying lords. He does have a Shadowcaster, Pendulum, Malkos, Enfeebling Foe, and Wolfric as well. So basically the Pendulum plus Pirate Ship combo, or the Sea Fang, it's a really good way to get rid of archers and just kind of front lines. So really like that quite a bit. Front line's going to be Marauders, a couple of Famir with great weapons to deal with heavy Cav, as well as Wolfric. This kind of feels like an old school build. Like basically just use the Famir. When the Cav come in, you counter them with the Marauder Horsemen, and when they get in, you just brace their charge with the Famir Warriors and make sure they don't get to ride over any of your good stuff. It's a very, very solid build for sure by Falcon. I like it quite a bit. And now for the forces of Imperator. He's got Peasant Mobs, King Lewin, a Paladin up in the sky. Paladin is going to be on his steed here, and a Damsel of Life, of course. And yeah, it's going to be peasants, peasant archers, kind of split out into the sunset. So very cheap front line. Not really any troop quality, battle pilgrims, anything like that. It's going to be Peasant Mobs, Spearmen at Arms in the secondary. And in the back, a pretty big Cav corps. So he's got the Companions, Knights of the Realm, and Knights Errant. So Knights of the Realm are pretty cost-effective, anti-large, not the best AP values against Famir, but with good rear charges and just kind of consistent cycle charging, they can still break down those good targets. Plus, that's also why King Lewin's so good. If you get a really good alpha strike with King Lewin, using the Sword of Corone to lower the armor of your chosen targets, you can generally make your opponent pay the troll toll. Good luck, have fun. This is going to be a great game, man. I'm really excited for this. Bretonnia, very, very micro-intensive here. A lot of Cav units that need to be microed effectively, but I think if anyone can do it, Imperator certainly can. He's had incredible micro all throughout the ECLs and, different formats and things like that. Oh no, a little bit of lag here. Hopefully we don't have a connection issue. And the lads can stabilize, of course, we'll do what we can. If we have to advance on, that would be rather unfortunate. I don't know. I guess another option too is we could have the players play offline and send in the replays. But he mentioned he was having trouble about an hour ago. But until then, he was fine more or less. So we will see. Oh, looks like he's good. All right, armies are moving. A little bit there. We'll see. We can hang for a minute if need be. Yeah, it seems like the lag has subsided for the most part. There may be a little bit of lag during this game, but honestly, the lag probably, if anything, helps Bretonnia. If he's not, you know, because he can kind of survey the battlefield, make sure he's pulling out his cycle charging units. So yeah, we'll see. Looks like both players are ready. Lag has subsided. We're good to go. So it's going to be Bretonnia facing off against the mighty Norskins. Will King Lewin be able to banish this foul northern threat from his lands? Well, looks more like Vampire Count lands. If you're looking around, kind of looks like where the vampires would hang out, but it is what it is. So Marauder Horsemen will be screaming forward here. Looks okay-ish now. Let's do it, says Imperator. Very good. Marauder Horsemen, of course, will be poked back by some of the Peasant Bowmen. They should be able to range those guys pretty effectively. Lewin's coming in, all the peasants charging, very eager to perhaps feast on some Famir fin soup for the peasants. We'll find out. But nonetheless, Falcon, of course, screening the front line here with the Marauder Horsemen, looking to get some freebies where he can. Going to be putting some focus fire here into the Paladin, into King Lewin, and of course, Imperator with some really nice jukes. He's able to fully juke those shots. So clearly, very high-level play on both sides. In the meantime, we do have Peasant Bowmen with the fire arrows shooting into the Marauder Horsemen, not taking out any models, which is nice for Falcon, but getting a little bit of HP damage in there, which of course does add up over the course of the battle. So the Paladin and Lewin flying overhead, and it looks like Falcon is going to be bum rushing in. The Famir coming in to crump some of these peasants, certainly going to be a fun time for those guys. And now Falcon is going to be isolating these Knights of the Realm, getting all of his focus fire here with the Marauder Horsemen onto the back of these units that are shielded, but they're being hit in the back, so they are going to be taking a bit of damage here. But the Peasant Archers will return fire, so at least it's not going to be a completely one-sided trade, as some of the Marauder Horsemen do take a little bit of poke and stroke. Knights of the Realm forcing in very aggressively here. I don't know if I agree with this. A little bit dangerous. There are Famir here, but it looks like Imperator is just trying to crowd Falcon's army a little bit, kind of force him into this awkward box where he can keep shooting with the Peasant Archers and accrue value over the course of a very, very long, grindy battle. King Lewin and the Paladins pulling back once again. It looks like Falcon is going to be going for a big old bunker bust up here on the high ground. Going to be pushing in, and it seems like it's intermittent lag, so hopefully it'll just like lag for a second and stabilize, but yeah, poor guy. We'll see. You can see the orders are being given. Don't drop. Don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. Oh, I see them fighting for a glimmer of hope here. Our dog's barking in the background, letting us know that they too feel the pressure and the drama that is at stake here. But yeah, we'll see if these players can stabilize. Hopefully so. Has the makings of a great battle. You don't get to see Bretonnia terribly often. So basically, if there were a crash here, we'd give one mulligan, and then from there, we would have to give him a game loss after another one if he were to crash again, which is unfortunate. But we'll see how it goes. They could just reload with the same armies even, which would be fine with me. Of course, up to them. They can do the new stuff if they want to. Oh no. I see the peasant mobs. Poor Falcon was mentioning he was having some issues, so yeah, timing's timing though, you know, just any given Sunday. So as far as the battle goes though, you can see the Bretonnians kind of rotating this direction, but Falcon really likes to overload positions from my experience I've seen him playing. So he's probably, I would imagine, going to be going for the high ground position and things like that. I'm going to minimize real quick and see if he has crashed. So we'll check on the Discord and everything. Cinematic slow-mo, yes. Let me go to the ECL bracket. He's going to let us know. I see him typing in Discord, so we'll see if he's crashed. Not really sure what it is. He said he was having some CP issues and things like that. Perhaps it will stabilize. So I see him typing in here. His internet hasn't crashed. It must be some sort of a connectivity issue where he lives. Or something with his PC. Well, we'll give it a little bit of a run here. We'll see what's going, and then we'll make a call from there. Spectators only. Come on, internet, hold! He's saying he didn't lose connection, so I think he's still in the game. We're still here as well. I'll check my bit rates as well to see if we're having any dropping. Nope, nothing there. And yeah, how's it going? Come on. Man, after this sort of a delay, though, I'd be really surprised if they stayed in here. We may have to restart it, and I'll check in with the players. All right. Not like this. I know. Not like this indeed. ECL stands for the Eternal Challenger League. It's based on Wulfric the Wanderer. Mutter a prayer to his modem. I know. Time Stop, the most powerful spell in the Warhammer universe. On come to Discord. Okay, so it ended in a draw. What? I don't know if I've seen that happen in quite some time. Okay, both players are crashed out, so it looks like there was some sort of a connection issue there. So we'll have them rejoin here. Okay, so rejoin. Okay, that's weird. It said draw. Have you guys seen that before? A dual drop? We can just have them reload with the same armies. And then we'll give it another try. I mean, we have time to kill. Yeah, both players drop simultaneously. Yeah. So we'll just replay it. I mean, honestly, it was so early in the battle, it doesn't really matter. And gives people, like, nobody had done significant damage yet. So we'll try it again. Hopefully it'll work out. Yeah, the players have crashed. Falcon is from Russia. All right, we'll call it a draw. So what we're going to do is, no problem. We'll do the same armies in the same map. Falcon's back. Eschen. We'll just do it. Honestly, like, we didn't miss much. At least now we don't have to talk too much about the armies as we do load in. Zardar, I don't think I did. Because I was able to move around and look at everything. And Falcon and Imperator mentioned that their screens were like frozen, both of them. Their screens were stuck. Whereas I was able to see everything and move about. Who knows, though? I mean, because my internet today has been performing flawlessly. Knock on wood. They're so evenly matched that they both crash. Falcon is back in business. We'll get through this series one way or the other. So I will invite Imperator to the lobby once again. We'll get the show on the road. Oh, we're going to have Bretonia. They're playing the same factions again. Hey, we have a donation coming in for Stephen from Stephen Hunt. Thank you so much for the $10 for the lady. You're going to get the lady. Don't worry. Bubba's Big Blast. So supermarkets here finally started metering people so they don't all infect each other by clogging the store. Obvious in hindsight. Yeah, glad to hear that, man. Yeah, it's Wild West out there. Yeah. So the dreaded double crash. Falcon already ready. He's readied up against no one. Sending a message. Yeah, we'll do the same armies, though. We'll do the same armies. And, like, both armies are kind of the style that it doesn't really matter. Like, there's nothing they can, like, deploy differently to, like, make a difference here. The lady got our chubs up and then let us down. I don't think so. She'll be back. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. So Falcon's ready. Imperator, I think he said he had to reconnect or something. Yeah. Maybe Imperator had like an internet crash. Who knows? It's witchcraft. I don't know where Imperator's from. I think he's EST. I think he's somewhere in the United States. Yeah. We'll see. Yes, it is XMT versus ODM here. And we will see how this goes. Hopefully all is well in the realm. We have some time to kill. I could always play a quick battle if need be to pass the time.
You could take off your shirt.
How effective are Grail Knights against War Mammoths? They can do okay. Obviously, it's more, Eric, it's more about isolating them in open field. Because oftentimes the Mammoths are going to stay amongst their Norskin troops. So you're going to see like, you know, the Mammoth hiding amongst like Marauders and things like that, which makes it trickier for the Grail Knights. But if Grail Knights can catch them in open field, of course, they can do some big damage. Oh, so basically both players, yeah, it's not going to affect, because I don't know who crashed. I think it was, yeah. I got the notification that MP and Warhammer 2 while we were playing. Okay, Falcon's explaining what he saw. Yeah, so basically that's not going to affect either of them. Because they both crashed, I think. I think it was a dual crash. Yeah. I don't know, yeah, because they both crashed. So, Imperator just made a change. He reset his internet, I think is what he said he was doing. So, he's back now. I see him typing to me. So, yeah, should be good. Are you talking about Grail Guardians or Grail Knights? Because Grail Knights with anti-large can be okay versus monsters. It's not the best thing in the world, but if they're fighting a lightly armored monster, they can definitely chew it down. Christian, I will take a look, yes. The Mammoth is social distancing from the Bretonnian Knights. Yeah, probably. Let me find Imperator here. He's always appearing offline, so it's tricky to find him. Firing up his game now. I see him doing that. And cool. Yeah, it's still okay, Eric, though. Honestly, though, I'm not a huge fan of using them against like single entities. I think for Bretonnia, if you want to be gooning out like big characters, using Gotrek or King Lewin or Paladins is pretty effective for sure. Questing Knights, honestly, I like a lot because they have so much AP. They're more of like a generalist unit, and a lot of the big monsters you fight are heavily armored. Like some dragons have 70 to 90 armor. Tomb King's constructs are heavily armored as well. So like having the extra AP, I feel, is very valuable. Grail Knights are cool though because they're like a dual purpose shock cav. But they're very expensive. Any matchup where you're facing Lore of Death, you have to be very careful because a lot of people almost always bring Lore of Death in that matchup. So, yeah, Grail Knights are an interesting one. Grail Guardians, we actually saw Shetland Apache have a really nice win over a great Tomb Kings player using like a Grail Guardian build. And also, El Cone is here in chat. If you guys want to ask him, he's a top tier Bretonnian player, so you guys can get your intel from him about Bretonnia. Yeah, that was in the King of the Hill stream. That was, yeah. How come you ever get to play with the playing these tournaments? So Frederick Mortensen, these tournaments are open. Anyone can join. You could have signed up for any of the ECLs, and basically you will be playing them in the qualifiers. But to get in this top one, you basically have to win one of the qualifiers. That's the normal status quo there. And of course, the great Misha dropping a link. Thank you, Misha. Let me see if Imperator has any questions or anything. Imperator saying, of all the times he could be having internet issues. So I'll invite him to the lobby once again. And don't worry, guys, it'll pass. And we're just hanging out. We can just chat. It's a just chatting stream now. So we're just gonna sit here and talk. Yeah, the Grail Guardians are interesting. Yeah, they have really high melee defense for sure and heavily armored. I believe they also have physical resist on top of that, so they're really tough to kill. Who would win in a fight between Peak, Conan the Barbarian, and Wulfric? Oh, come on. You got to go with Arnold, man. You got to go with Arnie. Wulfric's cool and all, but Arnie, come on. Can Royal Pegasus beat a Blood Dragon in the air? I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like the Blood Dragon would probably win because it has Invocation. It can Helm Discord them. It might put a dent in it, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that the Blood Dragon Lord would win that. He's a powerhouse. Plus, he has heart piercing. Face cam so you guys can see my dirty, unkempt beard. I don't have a green screen set up right now, yeah. All right, let's see if Imperator can see what's cracking here. I'll send him an invite directly from the lobby. Come on, where are you at? I see you. I really wish there was like a... Yeah, there he is. Maybe this will be helpful. He says he's getting an issue now. Maybe you guys can help me solve this. It says failed to join game. Player statistics unavailable. He says I don't even know what that means. Let's rehost lobby. So I'm going to rehost lobby. So we're on Eschen. So let's rehost the lobby here. Because maybe it was something with the lobby. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty... Okay, the games are appearing. Turin ECL Grand Finals actual. All right, perfect. And we're on Eschen. So let's see if this fixes the problem. And we'll find Imperator now. So Falcon, rejoin the lobby if you can. We can try that after this. So we're going to try rehosting the lobby here. And then if that doesn't work, we can we can try having one of the players host. So Turin, I've been struggling in Coast vs. Dwarves. Your 4 cannon build gives good results. Do you have any other build recommendations? Yeah, actually, you know what's really good in that matchup, Leo? Is using a bunch of Sirens. So using a front line of Sirens, which is pretty effective for sure. Yeah. Okay, so Falcon's in. Let's see if this works for MP. He was able to get in the lobby the first time.
Jason, the boys will never steal Turin away from me. Even if they arrive on pigs.
He's saying he's having a weird error here. All right, so what we can do... I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. So if he can't join, we're not going to deny you guys a best of 3. I could even play versus Falcon. I don't know. Or we could have yeah, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. I'm trying to think of ideas here. It's unprecedented. Let's have Falcon host. All right, so we're going to try another thing here. Falcon, you can host now. All right, so we're going to have Falcon try and host it and see if that works. He keeps saying he's having a bunch of weird errors. So we'll try this here. I have entered the ring. Hey, Sotek. Just some connection issues, unfortunately. Yeah. Let him select the champion.
Turin will win the ECL to troll everyone else.
No. All right. Oh, I don't want to join as a player. All right, I'm in as a spectator. So, so far he's in. All right, so let's see if Falcon is hosted. Oh, it's no problem. Imperator's feeling bad that I'm like, hey man, we got time to kill. It's Imperator saying he's having a lot of issues with his Gmail address and like with a bunch of stuff. It's not a bug. I don't think. I think Impy's having some problems with his connection and stuff. So we'll see if he can get in this lobby here. All right.
Gonzo is telling you to restart your game.
Yeah, it's not my game. So we'll give it another minute here. All right. Falcon versus Felkop. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Yeah, let's see if we've had any luck here. Yeah, unspecified error, he's saying, and then second time, no response from host. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, let's see here. So I think what would probably be the best bet would be to grab someone. Let's see here. So chat, let's go ahead and talk this through, guys. I think one of the best bets to do here in just kind of the spirit of fairness would be to grab someone from the from who qualified for the grand finals that is available right now, so they get a second shot basically. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think that would probably be one of the best bets. I can see who's online, but of course we have Zablaski, Sooth, Intensity, Arkin are all folks who've been here, who qualified for the grand finals. Imperator's he can't even host the games. He's saying I think he's just it's just completely down. Okay, so he's hosting now. This is the last chance here. Okay, I got into his lobby. Hopefully he doesn't. Oh. I need to join as a spectator. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can see the game name here. It's called ECL. So Imperator, you need to open up a spec slot. That's a good sign. We might actually be able to get this going. Yeah. Get Professor Pone to place Imperator. For the ponage coming. All right, so he'll get a spec slot here in a second. So Falcon, he has hosted the lobby. So let me go ahead and tag the guys. All right, this is our last-ditch effort here. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. Appreciate it. But I guess there's not much else going on. Imperator played Ark in the Black. All right, so has Imperator added a spec slot yet? Let's go back. Let's refresh it. Show me the games. Okay, hang on. Looks like they're both restarting their business here. Yeah, Imperator saying he just lost connection again. All right. So, from what I can see, Nurgle has affected the internet as well. Yeah, it's the nature of the beast, man. All right, let's see if we can get this going. Doesn't look good. All right, so I messaged the players from the previous qualifier. I know that was going to be such a good match too. No, it's kind of ridiculous for me to take his place because my chances of winning aren't great against Falcon and Taco, but it's possible, and it would be pretty silly. You know what we can actually do to give you guys more entertainment? We could have Zablaski play Anticity for the spot because they're both online and free right now. Why don't you play... We'll have you play Anticity for the spot. Yeah, that's kind of fun. If Anticity's down, let's see. Okay. All right, guys. So we have the Grand Mulligan Turin ECL finals. Ent versus Zablaski. So this is the second chance at life. Host game is a spectator. Perfect. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're going to have Anticity and Zablaski play. Coming back from the grave. No, we're gonna allow these two players an FFA match to decide. Oh my god. So I think it's only fair. They're both online. I messaged all those guys. Sooth was offline, but it actually works out here because Zablaski and Anticity are both ready to go. And yeah, so we're having the the re-qualifier match. The winner, of course, will play Falcon. So Anticity perhaps gets a second chance at Falcon. I know. Yeah, no, I feel like it's kind of like bad, tournament spirit to join your own tournament if there's a prize pool.
And win your own prize pool.
Yeah, it's not likely though. Like they're both better players than I am, but it's possible. I can like take games off them, so it's it's pretty funny. All right, guys, Anticity versus Zablaski. Thank you for sticking around. I know it's been a bit of a grind, but we're doing it. You might get your dwarves. Anticity is a very good dwarf player. Zablaski says, for some reason, I knew this would happen. Hey guys, so here for Imperator, he tried. He had a great win over Ark in the Black, but yeah, he's saying he's having packet loss issues with his PC now. Yeah, so okay. Other qualifier. Okay, so we got Anticity here, and now Zablaski should be on my list somewhere, unless he's hiding offline. Life breathed back into the ECL. All right, where are you? Where are you? We'll put him on, just make him fight on the Spirit Essence of Chaos just to get it going quick. We're not that cruel. We'll do a Stallion Tomb for the first map. Hey. Anticity is back in business. All right. Perfect. So he is here. Let me find Zablaski on my friends list. Yeah, this is going to be a best of 3. Yeah, we're just going to have a regular series, you know. So you guys are getting an extra best of 3 today, basically. In the grand scheme of things, the winner will play Falcon here. Invite to lobby. Boom. We got to quarantine Imperator's internet connection. Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to see MP too, but there's nothing you can do. He can't connect at all. He's been trying like for a good 20, 30 minutes now, and he just can't get any connection. And I think it's fair to the people who also qualified before to have them be the backups. All right. And start. Zablaski feels like, I feel like a cat with 9 tries to get into the finals. That's pretty funny. So Anticity will start with the picks and bans. Let's go ahead and change the nameplates up top. Anticity and Zablaski. Yeah, Imperator's saying that he still can't connect even now. Yes, that's true, Fez. You've caught me. All right. And here we go, my friends. So we're going to have Anticity with Coast banning Empire and Dwarves, and then Zablaski will pick Tomb Kings. So 2 top-tier factions scrapping it out. I always felt like this matchup is quite even. So we'll see what they bring. And of course, Falcon awaits atop his Throne of Skulls in the semifinals here. Yeah, we're back in business. I know, Falcon. It's really sad. I feel for MP. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll see him back in future seasons. Hey, Simon Benjamin, that sounds good to me. So Simon Benjamin says, firstly, he donates $10. Thank you so much. And he says, or 10 pounds. I can put up $50 specifically for Imperator versus the winner of the ECL. Sure. We can do that. 100%. We can do that 100% if you would like to. So Simon, shoot me a message in the Discord. Wants to. Yeah, the internet definitely is in the really big cities. Like, I don't know where he lives, but if he lives in like New York and stuff, I've heard that there's big issues with internet out there, and like these really kind of high population density cities where everyone's like kind of staying home. So it could be something with that. But he sounded like he was having some like system failure stuff, like packet loss and like some really unknown bugs that I've never even heard of before. So I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. Yeah, we'll get it done though. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be having streams all week, so we'll keep you guys entertained. I want to maybe get back to best of 7 streams too, like doing those, like just having 2 like high level players do best of 7s. A best of 5 showcase, Imperator versus winner of ECL. How about best of 7, King Agizol? Yeah, this is best of 3. All right, we're ready. Zablaski and Anticity getting another breath of life here in the ECL finals because one player unfortunately had to drop, was not able to connect to the game for about 45 minutes almost. Poor guy. And now we're getting in there, guys. It's go time. Round 2. Maybe I'll put some Haggard graphic over the current one. We'll have to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, that had the makings of a really good match too. I was really excited to see that Bretonian play. So Flying Taco, of course, awaiting in the grand finals, was the 2-0 victory over A-Move Hacker in the beginning. A very, very nice set of games. Really good crab play, really good business in general. And now we have Anticity facing off against Zablaski. Zablaski, apparently prophetic. He said he could smell this coming. So he was around, which is good. And then, of course, Anticity is always good to go. Anticity did play Falcon in the initial round of 8 and did lose 2-0. Had some pretty good games, but he has told me in the past that sometimes in these events, the nerves do get to him, which is kind of cool to see him get a second chance for sure. Because it can be very stressful, especially when you're thrown into, an 8-man tournament and your first opponent is Falcon, of course. Yeah, we'll do like a best of 7 or something. Imperator saying that he is down for it. Still having issues. He's not able to connect even still. But he's saying that he'll play the winner of the ECL this week. We'll call it like the how in the UFC. So for those of you guys that don't watch MMA, the UFC has its belts, right? So there's the heavyweight championship, light heavyweight, middleweight, et cetera, et cetera. But the UFC added something called the BMF belt, which you guys can obviously infer what that is. And it has no actual like meaning in terms of like, placing. But it's just like titled like who's the baddest, right? So we could have like the BMF stream, yeah, with Imperator when he gets his internet going. But yeah, it's really tough. Maybe we'll do what would probably help is if we do the streams late at night for some of the people in the city when it's like calmed down a little bit. I don't know. All right, guys. So for the forces of Zablaski, let's take a look back for round 2. Triple Ushopti Grapo and double Necrotech. Actually, we're going to be going for the heals here on the Ushopti Grapos. On top of that, he does have a front line of Skeleton Spears and looks like some Nahakar Warriors in the middle. DJ Kotep on his booth, going to drop those sick beats. And over here, he does have a Chemerian War Sphinx and a Tomb Scorpion. So very much a defensive build. We'll see if the Vampire Coast brought cannons. It looks like a mortar here and a mortar here. And there is a pretty big gun line. Now, for Anticity's front line, Zombie Power Deck Cannon Mobs, Krabos in the secondary. He does actually have handguns. If they can close the distance on the Grapos, they can put them down pretty good. He has some bombers mixed in as well. Crabs into the Sunset with Lamprey's Revenge. And Count Noctis on the Crow's Nest. He's pretty effective against Grapos. Triple Grapo will outtrade him, though, if he's not careful. But he does have the range advantage. So Noctis is going to want to probably pull back here and like kind of make sure he can range those guys. 255 against 330. We do also have Scurvy Dogs as well. So 2 Scurvy Doggos are here. Good luck, have fun. So here we go, guys. Who will meet Falcon in the semifinals? Lady Turin says hello. Just a teasing cough. Yes.
I'm gonna make you tea.
Thank you, John.
That's what I'm doing.
Don't worry, guys. The cough was fake. And here we are. The battle's underway. 2 mortars as well over here, preparing to drop some bows. As far as mortar targets go, there's not too many. They could shoot like the Nehekar Warriors and some of these other tools and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Camarine War Sphinx as well, here to deal with some of the Krabos and constructs and things like that. Constructs, but you know, some of the armor here for the Vampire Coast. But obviously it's a bonus for its infantry character. But the Camarine War Sphinx performed pretty well in 1v1, like versus other big threats. 35 melee attack. It does also have the missile attacks from the top. There's a couple Haggard Skeleton Archers sitting up there. Start when ready. All right, the battle's underway, guys. Great bows. What are they going to shoot right away? I would imagine they'll go for the Krabos or some sort of armor. Count Noctilus, of course, is taking up perch in the tree line. And you can see the Great Bows are going to be screaming forward and trying to shoot him. But this is a good play here by Anticity. He's moving up his Vampire Coast line to create a buffer so that the Great Bows aren't going to be able to range Noctilus. In the meantime, Casket of Souls shooting it as well. And you can see here in the back the Petra's Incantation of Righteous Smiting going down to give him reload skill and missile damage. And honestly, so far, Noctilus is trading pretty well. Able to take out a Great Bow model. Not yet. Doing good damage, though. And the handguns have now ranged the Ushabti. So the handguns are going to open up. And this is going to be very punishing here for Zablasky. He's got to be careful. Casket of Souls shooting in once again. And one of the mortars is going offline. So pretty interesting target priority for Zablasky. I feel like it's not really worth it to shoot the mortars, because the mortars aren't really good against much in his army, aside from his infantry. But it seems like he really wants to get rid of the artillery. I think maybe going after Noctilus. But yeah, he can't really range him. Maybe the crabs would be the best bet. Just like pulling back and ranging the crabs if he could. So the Great Bows here do take a bit of damage. No models are lost here, which is good here for Zablasky, so he's able to stabilize that. And yeah, this is good. Using the Casket of Souls to take out the handguns is a great play. And with the Righteous Smiting active, look at the damage coming in from Kotep. He's doing some serious work. That DJ booth is singing. In the meantime here, Camarine War Sphinx going for some freebies here on these Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, and we do have some Rotting Promethean Gunnery mobs scooting forward as the handguns unleash salvos of fire on the Camarine War Sphinx as well. One of the Great Bows in the danger zone here. Noctilus getting some heavy damage. He's down to about half health, and the Zombie Legion has advanced forward and will be meeting the Skeleton Warriors and Nehekar Warriors soon. Mortars are basically just shooting into chaff where they can, and the Ushabti Great Bows are now going after the handguns. So Zablasky is now targeting some really good targets, I think. Going after the handguns, going after the AP, I think is the really good choice here. Tomb Kings are going to have a pretty strong defensive posture. They do have the Eyes of the Desert here. They do have the Nehekar Warriors, and the Great Bows are all in good shape and have now fallen back to a pretty safe spot. Noctilus is in open field now, and it looks like, ooh, a nice ripping shot going into the Eyes of the Desert there. And the mortars are also shooting in, going after these Skeleton Spearmen here. And if we take an overall look at the battlefield, you can see nice little concave as the Vampire Coast does advance. They still have the bombers as well, so if the bombers can get good arcs of fire on the Nehekar Warriors or Skeletons, that could be quite cost-effective. Handgunners are taking a lot of damage. DJ Kotep's booth is definitely bumping some beats. Arcane Conduit is active, and the 2 handgunners are shooting downtown now into the Ushabti Great Bows. Nice Restore going down. The Restore able to keep those guys fighting for a period of time. In the meantime, Anticity Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs are fighting the front versus the Nehekar Warriors, and that will favor the Nehekar Warriors. They just have better stats. But Noctilus is getting really aggressive. He's actually pushing into range, and Noctilus could actually be in a bit of a threat for the Ushabti Great Bow hard switch. So all the Ushabti Great Bows could switch onto the big old Count Noctilus here, so we'll see how that goes. Got to be careful. Some zombies and crabs are surging into the back line. It looks like the Eyes of the Desert are going to be coming to intercept the crabs. But the front line for the Tomb Kings is getting worn down. The zombie bombers are doing some great damage here against the Nehekar Warriors. And now the Necrotechs are surging into combat as some guns are summoned by Count Noctilus here with an overcast. So Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs were summoned and are going to be putting some pressure here. Oh, nice dog play. So some Scurvy Dogs came out of the back, have jumped here on top of the Great Bows and some of these other units. And I mean, honestly, even if they can't kill the Great Bows, it's going to chip them down and keep them from shooting, which if these, 3,000 plus gold isn't shooting here in the back, the Vampire Coast will overwhelm that front line, and it's going to be quite scary. On top of that, Vampire Coast was able to stabilize its mortars, so it still does have 2 mortars, which is a pretty nice situation. Noctilus in here, causing some problems, and the Eyes of the Desert getting forced back as well. Gunnery mobs pressuring in, and Scurvy Dogs really able to pin down some of those Great Bows. However, it looks like Zablasky will be pulling the Eyes of the Desert back and will be attacking these Scurvy Dogs here. They're down for the count, so Great Bows are back online, which is good. It looks like Restorers are keeping them nice and healthy. Necrotechs have pushed into combat here and are going after the Rotting Promethean Gunnery mobs, which is going to take them some time. They don't have bonus versus large, and their AP values aren't the best, so it's not going to be a great situation for these guys. And this is a little bit scary. There is a lot of angry Vampire Coast here. Anticity has Lamprey's Revenge. He has more Scurvy Dogs to get back here, and he's doing a really good job summoning in gun units to pressure into the Great Bows. And honestly, Noctilus maybe just committing to an all-in back here and just like pushing. No, you can't really do that. Not with the Eyes of the Desert. Righteous Smiting is active, so these guys are just hitting like trucks. Restore is indeed active here. And Kotzep is doing pretty well. Ushapti Summon going to be used by the Tomb Kings right here, it looks like, to roadblock the Lamprey's Revenge, which is a good play. But the Scurvy Dogs for Anticity should be able to work their way around and really put some serious pressure here on the back line. In the meantime here, we do have the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs and the Rotting Promethean Gunnery mobs fighting and beating down the Necrotex, which is really really unfortunate here for the forces of Zablaski. This is a pretty big loss. That's a lot of healing, a lot of character power, and those guys are going to be getting crunked pretty good. Now, Scurvy Dogs are actually going all in and attacking Grand Hierophant Kotzep. And you can see here the Lamprey's Revenge are surging into the backline as well. And man, Anticity's been doing a really good job summoning these gunnery mobs and pushing back the gun line. Even though it's not like a ton of AP damage on their little pistols, it still adds up, like that peppering fire. And now Kotzep isn't shooting. And I think the balance is probably going to start favoring Tomb Kings here. Not Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast, excuse me. As you can see, the Necrotex are getting taken out by the crabs, just absolutely beaten down. They're Wonder Woman lassos, left here on the ground, left in the dust. Now Count Noctilus advances forward. Where will he be? It looks like he's in a relatively good shape. Probably has some invos he can still use. Ammunition a little bit sparse on him. And the Ushapti Summon, I think, is one of the band-aids that's holding together the Tomb Kings right now, because as the Ushapti Grapos have to start running here from the advance here of the Vampire Coast, that's going to be a pretty dire situation. There's still a fair amount of gunnery mobs advancing, and that peppering fire can really do some decent damage. So Eyes of the Desert here are buffed up by the Cursed Blades, which is going to help them in combat against the, I don't know, they're not really fighting anything here, so not too much, I guess. Kotzep is still stable, but Kotzep can't really run. Kotzep only has 26 speed, so once Kotzep's kind of fortress crumbles around him, he is going to be forced to kind of move out. Now, however, guys, if the Grapos here for Zablaski are able to shoot in and nuke Count Noctilus off the battlefield, which it appears he's doing some scooting and shooting, basically falling back and shooting, very much like a StarCraft 2 style of play, he could be in really good shape. I mean, because Vampire Coast has a fair amount of stuff left, but a lot of it's in pretty bad shape. I guess the crabs could be a potential carry. Lamprey's Revenge are very, very beat up here. And you can see Grand Hierophant Kotzep is yeah, he's in okay shape as well. But the Great Bow's falling back. Man, it looks like Zablaski might be able to pull this game back with really Great Bow Micro. It's like a Marine Micro in StarCraft 2. But Noctilus was able to just getting pounded here. And you can see Anticity's trying his best to juke. He's going back and forth and dodging a lot of those giant shafts. But for the most part, thank you, sweetheart. I don't know, it feels like Zablaski might be able to pull this one back. But the bounce power is kind of normalizing a little bit here. As you can see, the Rotting Prometheans are starting to cause some pressure here. And of course, the gunnery mobs are continuing to push forward, and Grapos are crumbling down. This is an incredibly close game. Sorry about the noise, guys. My floor is very, very creaky.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna go and die in the living room with the dogs.
And it's gonna go party with the dogs in the living room. Yeah, that floor is so creaky. It's one of the downsides of living here. Zombie Pirate gunnery mobs advance forward. And you can see here the other Zombie Pirate gunnery mobs shooting into the Ushapti Grapos. And the bombers are still advancing as well. A very close, scrappy game. Grapos are going down, and when ammo does run out, there is going to be an issue. If there's enough kind of sustainability in the Tomb King's army to fight them in melee, but I don't know if there will be, honestly. If you look at the remnants here of the Vampire Coast army, we have bombers here, we have gunnery mobs here. What, is good in combat? I mean, there's 2 mortars back here for Vampire Coast, which could have the ultimate Haggard duel. I would imagine the mortars, mortars still have decent AP values. It's not, insane, but they do have some armor piercing, I think at least over 100. The Cameron War Sphinx is going down to some of the focus fire, but these are summon units. This is pretty much the last breath here for some of these summons. And honestly, I think that the Tomb Kings are going to take this battle. Grand Hierophant Kotzep dropping some bombs. Ushapti Grapos dropping bombs as well. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Vampire Coast is going to win this. Kotzep in his Great Bow pocket, able to stabilize here in the tree line. And the mortars, of course, shooting in, but even the Cameron War Sphinx will survive. And I think that's going to be army losses. What a well-played game. Absolute scrap. And there you have it. DJ Kotzep dropping those sick beats. And that is going to be a Game 1 victory for Zablaski's Tomb Kings, who I really thought was on the ropes when the Vampire Coast was pressing in, but he was able to really pull back, find a nice firing line, finish off Noctilus, who was at half health. That was a very impressive comeback. Very impressive comeback indeed. And there we have it, my friends. There we have it indeed. All right. So there we have it, guys. Game 1 is going to be going to Zablaski and his Tomb Kings. And now we're going to be loading into Game 2 in the ECL Grand Finals. Shouldn't be lagging, guys. I would definitely check your connection. Anna chasing our dogs out there. That's my record on DJ kills. 380. Anna speaking Polish to the dogs. Love it. Yeah, I really can't believe Zablaski came back there. And there we have it, guys. Great game indeed. DJ Kotep dropping some beats once again. Glacial Lake is the map. Zeba bands. Go, go. We're getting through this, guys. As one, we push forward. As one. As one. Yep. Sick beats were dropped. Lady Turin has coined a glorious saying, neckbeardism. Neckbeardism is now in my mental dictionary. Yeah, I don't think I'll forget that. It's pretty good.
God put the neckbeards down on this earth for us to hunt for sport.
There you go, darling. Someone in chat saying, I'm glad that your dogs are learning Polish. Well, she's forming a grand alliance against me, basically. The dogs have abandoned me. Zablaski is going to be going lizards, it looks like. He's thinking. He's browsing his options. Now, if he knows Anticity's playstyle, Anticity is really likes to play dwarves, Vampire Coast, kind of those Skaven, defensive kind of gunline factions. So he's going lizards. He's banning... Wow, he didn't ban dwarves? So he bans Dark Elves and Tomb Kings. So Anticity, I think, is going to pick Dowie here. Somebody in chat was very eager to see the Dowie, so perhaps your dreams and hopes will be fulfilled. We'll find out. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this goes indeed. Basically, I just select the maps based on decent multiplayer maps. Wow, Anticity's going for a wild Wood Elf pick. So Way Watchers going to be trying to watch the way and bring down some of the big dinos, I would imagine. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool indeed. So it's going to be Wood Elves versus Lizards here in game 2. Zablaski probably going to go for the classic counter pick using what's it called? The double laser dino, like kind of that defensive build. Yes, Zyphos, Glacial Lake is in the map pool. It's one of my favorites. It just is so nostalgic for me. It might not be the best map in the world, but I just love it. And it's a quick battle too. Yeah. A Slanesh bot was excited for the Dowie as well. No dwarves, I'm really surprised. I actually thought that we would see a dwarf pick from Anticity. Because dwarves on this map are pretty good. And dwarves have a good matchup versus lizards. Longbeards outtrade Saurus. Thunderers are really good against the monsters. Trollhammer Torpedoes just nuke everything. It's a really cost-effective matchup for the Dowie, in my experience. So I'm surprised we didn't see that. Wood Elves, of course, have some good tools against dinos as well. Anticity's ready. Not too many trees to hide in on this map as well. So Rado, you're just tuning in. We had a bit of a change here. So unfortunately, one of our players had some serious tech issues and wasn't able to play today and had to drop. So what we ended up doing for the second best of 3 is we went and got 2 players who were eliminated, but they also qualified for the top 8. So these players definitely earned their spot here in the finals, playing through those long, 6-hour tournaments. And we are having them play here. So Anticity and Zablaski are getting a second chance at life here. So it's a best of 3 between them, and the winner will go play Felcon. So Imperator unfortunately had to drop, and it's a shame because he's such a fun player to watch, and he's so good also. But you can't have everything in life. It's just the nature of the beast. It is the nature of the beast. And don't worry, guys. A lot of streams will be going on this week. Also, next weekend we will be having a big fat faction war. Haven't decided Saturday or Sunday yet. I think I actually was going to do Saturday. So yeah, it'll probably be next Saturday. So I'll be inviting players over the next few days and all that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. So I know you guys like the faction war. That'll be next Saturday. And all throughout the week, we're going to be streaming almost every day. So stay tuned for that goodness. Also, head-to-head campaign will be starting this week with Lore Master of Sotek at some point. We're trying to decide if we're going to do Raponce versus Cetra or if we're going to do Dreadfleet versus Mazda Mundi. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, the battle's underway here. Let's take a look at the build of the Wood Elves. We have Durthu coming in with his Optimus Pine Sword. Durthu, of course, hits like an absolute truck. And over here, we do also have a Spellsinger of Life. Spears in the front line, Dryads, and War Dancers with Azrai Spears as well. And as far as the missile line goes, it is going to be mostly Starfire Shafts. He does have some Way Watchers mixed in, so it's going to be kind of the lower tier archers here. Starfire Shafts, of course, have good AP values. 1 Hagbane tip to apply poison, and last but not least, it is going to be some Way Watchers. That's it. And now for the forces here of the dinos. We have Cold One Spear Riders for Zablaski. Front line is going to be Skinks, obviously not wanting to give any good targets. We have a Slime Mage Priest of Life, and look at this! Triple Ripperdactyl, including the Colossadon Hunters. Now, we haven't seen them be used terribly effectively in the past couple of streams we've had, but quite curious to see why he picked these in this matchup. A lot of Cav, Coldwind Spear Riders into the Sunset, a Wild Feral Bastiladon for the Terror route and just being cheap, and it looks like a Slime Mage of Life. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, Colossadons, I'm curious about, I mean, Colossadons, of course, can put some hurting on Durthu, but Durthu has so much high leadership spear support around him, I'm a little bit concerned. And of course, the Whittle front line for Anticity is very nasty here. I mean, comparatively speaking, the Dryads will be able to beat Skinks in combat, and he's got a lot of missile play to shoot down the Ripperdactyls. So the Cav play from Zablasky is going to have to be really impressive here, because I feel like as far as the builds go, it's definitely pretty good for the Wood Elves. But again, that's just my topical opinion here. Play is coming into, play is a big part of it as well. Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom and Earthblood and Regrowth here, so just wants to have some tactical flexibility. But of course, the Manticore Summon is going to be quite useful for going after the Ripperdactyls. That's going to be really, really cost effective. Archer line here does, of course, have Azurai Spears and Wild Rider support. So honestly, just kind of sit here, make the Lizards come forward, protect your Archers with your Spears, and, I think he has a pretty good recipe for success. Good luck, have fun! So the battle is underway here, guys, to see who will be the re-qualifier for the ECL Grand Finals. Who will face the Dark Lord Felcon. Felcon, of course, the champion of Season 1 and Season 3, respectively. Xiphos winning Season 2 with a very impressive run of Wood Elf games, defeating and smiting his Bretonnian foes. And now we're here. It's time. Zablasky's also a pretty big Elf player, which I'm curious why we didn't see him go Elves this game. I know he really likes to play Wood Elves, and Zablasky also really likes Vampire Coast. That's another faction I think we could perhaps see in the next game, depending on how this one goes. So the Colossadons and the Ripperdactyls have been done in a very aggressive vanguard in each corner of the map. Now the Lizards are advancing. Coldwind Spear Riders look like they're thinking about a frontal charge, although some of them are going to be going around the flank here, taking some missile fire. Starfire Shaft's hitting really hard, actually. Oh man, look at that. Little Skink Cohort's getting roasted, and Durthu is going to be here as well. So this is going to be a hard frontline fight here for the Lizards. Skink Cohort's not terrible combat stats, but against the Dryads, they're going to have a pretty bad time. So yeah, a lot of it's going to come down to the Ripperdactyl play. Oh man, going in very aggressive here with the Colossadons, jumping into the Hagbane tips, and it looks like the other ones are coming in as well, but there are Azurai Spears nearby, and there's a lot of mobile pressure here. It looks like there's going to be some sort of a spell cast here. I'm not sure what. It looks like a Regrowth maybe going down. Yeah, on top of the Colossadon Hunters, and yeah, I mean, all the Archers are definitely taking a beating here. But what is the follow-up going to be from the Wood Elves? Are these Ripperdactyls going to get back up in the sky? It looks like they do. Man, nice control there by Zablasky. Only one of them gets stuck on the ground. The other ones are, well, actually two, but more or less they're safe. Oh, that is so not good, though. The Colossadon Hunters do get regrowth here, which keeps them going, but man, they get pounded by that Archer play. And so far, we've seen the Ripperdactyls be a bit of a scary investment. Haven't really paid for themselves too much. The other ones are back up in the sky, but they're probably going to swoop back in. And yeah, so we have Coldwind Spear Riders fighting Wild Riders here. So these Ripperdactyls, honestly, going after the Wild Riders with a rear charge here would be a really, really good play. In the meantime, we do have the other Ripperdactyls trying to stabilize here. Oh man, the Colossadon Hunters need to stabilize. They have 8 models. Are they going to go off the battlefield? It looks like it. They took so much damage and they're gone. That is a huge loss. Huge loss. They had 8 of 8 models. In the front line, you can see the Wood Elf front line is winning pretty handily. You can see the Eternal Guard are holding back a lot. Durthu is karate chopping this Slann. Oh my goodness, this Slann is just getting straight up slapped for Zablasky. Anticity showing no mercy this game. And you can see Optimus Pine beating down that fat toad. And this is going to be a pretty quick victory for the Wood Elves, I think. I don't think Ripperdactyls are good here. They're just, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'd had success before with them, but they just get shreked so hard. They're so squishy. Like, there's so many cheap spears and missile units to just pound them down in the High Elf roster. I think this game was very much like a army pick loss. And you can see here the Ripperdactyls getting crumped once again by the Wild Riders. Spears coming in. The Bastiladon's out of control, rampaging. And Durthu was able to just slap the base on that Slann. There's no way Zablasky can come back at this point. It's pretty much over. He has some Coldwind Spear Riders in the back who obviously can do something. But yeah, that's going to be it. The Toad getting slapped as well, getting rid of the magic is very, very powerful as well. You might win this fight against the Dryads here. Some of these Wild Riders might come in, but look at how healthy this Wood Elf army is. And Zablasky will withdraw. A very rapid game 2, and guys, we're going to a rubber match. Here it is, game 3. I love it. So now we'll do the traditional ECL bans that we've been doing for game 3. Each player will do their thing. All right, so let's go ahead here and update that. That was a pretty brutal one for sure. Anticity showing that he's still in it. He's still going strong. So for the next map, let's go ahead and do let's put him on the Fall of Man. Put him on Angui. Map set. Game 3, pick and ban. So we will use old pick and ban system for now, because I haven't had a chance to talk to everybody about that, so I want to make sure. Same as ECL qualifiers. Plus, I like to have the rules consistent with the qualifiers. So they'll do that real quick. And I'll let them know. So Anticity is player 1. Okay. And we have a donation coming in from Veturt. Turin, always watching your stuff on YouTube. Never got to catch a stream due to work, but off now for 1 month. Yeah, man. Tough stuff. Well, glad you're here, man. We'll keep you entertained. We'll go strong. Durthu, Ironwood McBaller. Oh, man, that was great. Yeah, Ripperdactyls are a really glass cannon unit. Like, they're very hard to make work. Yes. So Tech says, unleash the sky piranhas. Yeah. So we're going to be doing traditional picks and bans today. Obviously, because we want to, keep it the same as the qualifiers. I like to keep the rule sets kind of consistent all the way through. But for the next season, we'll probably switch to the new pick and ban system. All right. All right. So for this match, it's going to be Dark Elves for Anticity banning Bretonia. And now we have Zablaski on the pick here. So we'll see what he's going to pick. We have the Druchi coming in from Anticity. The Jawi grumble in the shadows. And we'll see what's cracking. We will see what's cracking here indeed. Yeah, the new system's really good for pick and bans. Yeah. Dimitri saying, Zablaski, you know the dollar to rub rate? Those $200 would be huge. Perhaps so. Yeah, the new system is the one we've been using in King of the Hill. Yes, correct. So it looks like we're going to have Zablaski thinking about his pick here. Obviously, he could go Vampire Coast. I think Vampire Coast has a pretty good matchup here. It looks like Anticity hovers over the Dwarves for a second, just teasing the audience. Perhaps a taste of what's to come later. Yes. All right. Okay. Zablaski's still thinking about his picks here, perhaps eyeing a Wood Elf pick here. We know Zablaski likes to play as Wood Elves, known for that. Can anybody tell me who would win in a battle between Ironbreakers and Temple Guard? Oh, that's an interesting one. Ironbreakers might barely win it. I don't know. Depends. Yeah, the blasting charges would be very, very helpful. Yeah. It's hard to say. Ironbreaker's damage output is pretty poor against a unit like Temple Guard, so I mean, there's a chance Temple Guard with their consistent AP values and better melee attack could win that fight. I don't know. It would depend on the blasting charges, I think, if you have to ask. All right. So it looks like Zablaski is going Wood Elves, actually. Okay. So we're getting Wood Elves once again. Probably going to be some kite action, I would imagine. Because obviously, Dark Elves can kite a little bit. Scourge Runners are pretty powerful here. I don't know. Against Bravenoth Rema and Waywatcher Fire. I wonder if Zablaski will go old school Wood Elves, like the traditional Warhammer 2 Wood Elves using like Waywatchers with Prey. And like Wild Riders, just very micro-intensive all over the place. Or if he'll do a bit of a mixed forces build. Like what we saw from Anticity last game was very much like a very, I don't know, yeah, different build. I mean, using Durthu with a big missile line of traditional Glade Guard, Dryads, and, a ton of Spears. It seemed to be a pretty good build from Anticity last game. So it's 1-1 right here, guys. The winner, of course, will go on to face Falcon. And we'll see how it goes. A meme pick? I don't think we're going to see too many meme picks today. I do not think so. Simon, got your email, man. Thank you so much. We'll do it to it. And looks good to me. Looks good to me indeed. So Anticity making his final tweaks. I'm kind of curious how the Dark Elves play this. Probably just spamming a bunch of Cold One Riders and Dark Riders and maybe some Scourge Runners to deal with like infantry and big threats. Maybe like, I don't know, what kind of a Lord would they use? Maybe like Marathi, Malekith. You know, just being really careful against prey. Playing that like long grindy game. Scourge Runners have really good range, 155, but they are outranged by Way Watchers and pretty much all the Wood Elf Archers. So, I mean, you could see a Druchii rush for sure. Like just Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, Cold One Knights, like all that kind of stuff. That's something we've seen in the past. I'm not really sure though. I'm not really good at either of these factions. Definitely some of my weak points. But it is what it is. Yeah, Skaven are really good. I'm surprised we don't see them picked as much. But again, it just depends on the person. Kevin McLaughlin, Druchii, let's go. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the $20 supporting the grand finals here on the stream. And yes, that's correct. Skaven cannot nuke in multiplayer. Oh my god, that would be so oppressive. Imagine if Skaven could pay like 2,000 gold for a nuke and just like bring it into multiplayer. An Ikit Claw's laugh goes off every time it's used. That would be pretty insane. All right, guys, we're loading in. We're on Angui for our map. We will see how this goes. It is time. It is time indeed. 282. 281. The map loads in. This is game 3 in this series, by the way, for our replacement series that we had to run, unfortunately. For anyone that's joining, unfortunately, Imperator was not able to connect at all today. He was having pretty perpetual issues with his PC and connection, so poor guy. So we had to grab some of the other qualifiers and give them a second breath at life. It's kind of like in the reality shows when they bring back contestants who are eliminated as the wild cards. The winner will be facing Falcon. A Move Hacker and Flying Taco did have their game in the beginning. Yeah, the nuke would have to cost like how much gold do you think it would have to be to make it like fair? That's my question. Yeah. What is the reality of that? All right. So for the Forces of Anticity, wow, going for quad Shades. Interesting. Now, Shades can be outranged and outplayed a lot by Wood Elf Archers, but if there is a very defensive Wood Elf build, you know, it's something. So he's got quad Shades here. He's got Cold One Knights, Dark Riders, and I would imagine Harvester somewhere, but no, 2 Dark Riders, Cold One Knights, double Cained Assassin for Anticity here. The Crows of Cain, Bleak Swords with the Hellebronai, and it looks like a Supreme Sorceress of Shadows here, which certainly a very snipeable character, but even if it gets sniped, it's not a super expensive loss. And on top of that, it looks like there are going to be some Cold One Knights and Cold One Knights. So 2 Cold One Knights, Shades, Spears, some light Cavgrass, and a double Cained Assassin with the Sorceress pick. Pretty cool build. Now for the Forces of Zablaski, it looks like it's going to be a very aggressive Dryad rush, actually. So he's got Dryads, he's got War Dancers, he does also have a Spellsinger of Life, and a Glade Lord up in the sky. On top of that, we do have the Hawkeyes of Jakira, Way Watchers as well, and that is going to be, the Monty here. So not too much missile play, honestly, which I like. I think it's a very solid pick because Zablaski does not have too much he has to protect. Rather, he just gets to move his army forward, and he really only has to micro like 1 or 2 units very aggressively, which is always a good thing. And, you know, there are builds that obviously can be extremely powerful, but they're too much to micro. And it's a big mistake a lot of newer players make. They'll watch like a high-level player play, and they'll emulate their builds, which require a ton of practice and experience in micro. And, it can lead to some disaster. I do that all the time. I'll be like, oh, yeah, you see that build that Falcon and Soothsayer used there? I'm going to try that. And then I just fail horribly with it because my obviously micro may not be up to theirs. So looks like it is a life caster as well. Pretty cool armies. Candidate Assassins are a pretty sticky, annoying threat for sure. Those guys can do some work. And good luck, have fun. Let's see how this goes. A second chance at life. That would be quite the story, wouldn't it? If these guys were able to come on and do really well here in the series. You got to be careful here with this Supreme Sorceress. Pravenoth Rema from Zablaski could spell her doom very, very quickly here. And he does have the Prey. Oh, he's going for it, I think. Yep, Prey. Way Watcher Snipe with Hawkeyes of Jakira. Oh, no! Anticity's Lord just getting pounded to dust. All it takes is one mistake. Just casting spells wherever she can. Oh, Anakin, I'm too weak. Oh, man, the Supreme Sorceress is down. down for the count. Anticity losing his Lord almost instantly against that Waywatcher fire. Hot damn, that's all it takes. And Supreme Sorceresses themselves are super squishy also. Now the Crows of Cain up in the sky, kind of giving it back a little bit. Going after the Glade Lord. And I mean, if he could get that pick there, that'd be quite strong. But it looks like the Crows of Cain are going to be broken. And now the Wood Elf Rusher is coming in full effect. You can see here the War Dancers shall be surging here into the Spears. And we do have the Dryads fighting the Hellebronai, the chillest of the dudes in all the realm. And Zablasky pulling back his main force, realizing he's reaped a pretty huge advantage and now can take more conservative fights. He is going to be using the Wild Hunters of Kurnus here to go after the Canade Assassin, which I think might be a mistake. He's going to get slowed down, and he does realize that and pulls back as the Shades appear from an ambush. And a very good reaction and kind of instinct there by Zablasky. And now he pulls back into the trees. I mean, he has the missile advantage. He has the range advantage. Not too many reasons to take the fighting here. Just use your Waywatchers and pick off whatever you want. And force the Druchii to come into the trees, where they're certainly going to be out of their natural habitat. So the Shades are advancing. Cold Blue Knights pressing up as well. Zablasky can now kite back a little bit and maximize the value here from his Hawkeyes. I'm surprised he's shooting at the Hellebronai of all the targets he has here. Although I suppose he can't see the Shades right now. They are indeed hidden. And, believe it or not, it's still a winnable battle for the Dark Elves. If the Canade Assassins can get some really good engagements, if the Cav can shut down the missile play, then that would be pretty big. So we'll see. We'll see if he can come back. That would be a pretty legendary comeback for sure. Canade Assassins pushing up. We do have a pretty big fight here. Cold Spear Riders fighting against the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, who are very, very powerful. But again, no magic here for the Druchii, and magic support coming in for the Wild Hunters with the regrowth. Azrai Spear surging in, and Shades are helping as well. So the Shades are throwing some shade, that's for sure, on top of the Wild Hunters, who are getting healed up pretty heavily by that regrowth. If you look in the back, some of the Wood Elves, sorry, a little bit of a burp there. The War Dancers are surging forward, trying to get some fights where they can. And it looks like Zablasky thinking about pushing out, maybe not so much. Some Dark Riders do go right into the front line, but are intercepted by Dryads and some missile play. And so far over here, it's looking a little bit harsh for the Dark Elves. Granted, they are able to push back the Wild Hunters, which is nice, but they're also taking some massive casualties themselves. But so are the Azrai Spears. And Shades aren't terrible in combat. 40 melee attack, they're going to be able to potentially put some hurt here on the War Dancers in combat. Especially if they're able to get some crossfire, and you can see here these Shades are pulling back here. Anticity pulling back his Shades here. Canade Assassins on the hunt as well. So these War Dancers are probably actually in a bit of trouble. So yeah, not a bad play. Anticity, just kind of get a freebie here. Do your slow push. Try and get value where you can, and waste the ammunition here of the Hawkeyes of Jakira and some of these Wood Elf missile units for sure. And all it takes is one slip up as well from the Glade Lord. If the Glade Lord gets caught in a bad position, it could get taken out pretty heavily by the Shades. Nice Brave Enough Rayma going down to the Cold Blue Knights, who are going to be chased off by some Eternal Guard. So those Cold Blue Knights pretty much crumped off the battlefield after that Brave Enough Rayma. And the Azrai Spears are taken out as well, so that's quite nice. Shades are in decent fighting shape. We have 3 Shades here, 4 Shades in total, all of which are more or less full fighting capacity, except for this group who's lost 7 models. So there's still some heavy punch for sure. So the Shades are shooting in, going downtown into the War Dancers here. And the Spellsinger of Life is pulling back. So far, of course, the Wood Elf's still in a state of advantage. That pick in the beginning was pretty backbreaking for sure. Not only did you lose your Lord, but it wasn't like you lost a combat Lord. You lost your Lord and your caster. So basically the magic is gone, right? And there's pretty good range on that Shadowcaster too. It could have sat back, but it's such an easy mistake to make. Like when you first move your army up, if you have them all in one control group, sometimes your Lord, if it's on a horse, will run out ahead. And all it takes is like one misplay against a Waywatcher play, especially the Hawkeyes of Jakira, who have insane weapon damage. 37 with pretty lethal accuracy and AP values. So now the Glade Lord's going to be going after the Crows of Cain here. Both players kind of having a bit of a standoff here. As the Shades advance in, you can see now they're going to be shooting into, ooh man, that damage is brutal. I mean, gosh, just one volley from those Hawkeyes is just so nasty. But Anticity's scrapping for his life here, not going quietly, and the 2 Assassins could be a carry unit for sure. They could do some serious work. They hit really hard with their little crossbows. Pretty decent melee combat as well. And there's still a fair amount of Dread Spears. My only concern, though, for Anticity, or my biggest concern, aside from him having lost his Lord, is the fact that this Wood Elf army is outmatches him in the front line. The Dread Spears will lose the Dryads, and War Dancers will cut through them pretty effectively as well. And I think Zablasky knows this, and is now going to be pushing forward into the trees. Some very conservative skirmishing from both players. Now, Shade's taken a little bit of fire, but able to mitigate that in the tree line, and the Canade Assassins pushing up as well, getting some picks where they can. I think ammunition is pretty good on the Canade Assassins. Yeah, you can see here they a ton of ammo. So honestly, this isn't a bad situation here for the Dark Elves. Just playing a very kind of cautious skirmish game with the Canade Assassins hiding in the trees and poking out is really not terrible. One Assassin's running over here to go after the Glade Lord. It looks like the Crows of Cain have come back with 12 models. And Zablasky's really trying to bait his opponent, really trying to force him out of the tree line here. So here comes the Dryads screaming in. The frontline fighting is finally underway here on the tree line. And the Dryads, of course, will win this fight. It's a grindy one. Dreadspears have decent defensive capabilities for the cost, but the War Dancers and company will win. Nice play here by Anticity, kiting the War Dancers back and getting brutal crossfire here with all the Shades. Shades, of course, shooting into the War Dancers here. And man, that would be a pretty legendary comeback. It really would be. In the back, we have some Cold Blood Knights pushed off once again. These Dark Riders pushed off. But they're eating, wasting full volleys of ammunition here on the Way Watchers is definitely quite a nice boon. The Web of Shadows going down on the Dryads, doing a little bit of magic damage. And yeah, the Kite's on. 4 Shades, still fighting pretty well. And here we have some Dark Riders rear charging here into the War Dancers. Yeah, it's many of the engagements are going to be quite tough for the Druchii here. As you can see, the Dreadspears and company are eventually getting worn down by the Dryads. The Glade Lord is overhead and can do some damage. Yeah, the Shade play is really good. It's a shame, because had he not lost his Lord, I think this would have been a really, really scrappy game, but there's so many ways for his Lord to be caught in this matchup. Like, if she comes up to catch one spell and the Way Watchers are ready, yeah, the tree line actually goes both ways here. It's definitely helping both factions to an extent. But the Shade's getting, again, more fire, pounding into the War Dancers here. The Candidate Assassin's doing a really good job, and honestly, the Wood Elf front line's starting to get worn down. These Eternal Guard are going to be a bit of an issue, though. Silver shields and very cheap. Should be able to hold in combat against the Shades. And we have more and more Dryads coming in as the Candidate Assassins are doing their best to hold back the advance, but it's there's only so much he can do without having his leadership and or magic, especially when his opponent has both. So Way Watchers are out of ammo. Hawkeyes from Jakira are empty in their quivers, as are these Way Watchers, just about. 3 volleys left here. And here you can see the Eternal Guard are chasing now. So Crossfire will be coming in, and what Anticity's doing is he's pulling these guys behind the Eternal Guard so he can break them easily, because shooting them in the back means their shields won't work, even though, they're not shielded. Okay. So he doesn't have shields in the first place. Candidate Assassin's going in for a potential kill here. Maybe he could pick off this Glade Lord if they get a little bit lucky, but oh man, that's painful. Wild Hunters of Kurnus come back in, and I think that's going to spell doom for the Druchii here. The Shades are doing a really amazing job, though. Actually, it proved to be a pretty good pick here. I really didn't think they would be that solid, but Anticity's doing a great job scrapping, and he knows it's over at that point as his archer line is compromised, and the Wood Elves are coming from all directions. So, well played. Zablaski will be advancing to face Falcon, which will be happening right now. Looks like we have the Russian duel. GG, well played. Zablaski, stay. Oh, GG, well played. Zeba, stay here. So that is going to be a 2-1 victory for Zablaski. Now going to be facing his fellow countryman in Falcon. Yes, indeed. The Druchii put up a great fight considering the circumstances, but yeah, that poor Supreme Sorceress just got crumped so hard. All right, Falcon, you're up. Join this lobby. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and find Falcon here. Let's find the man, the myth, the legend, the winner of Season 1 and 3. He's got to be here somewhere, lurking in the shadows. There he is. Playing on his actual name today. And for the first map, we will do Alpine Rage because it's a really fun one. Map set. Felk, player 1. Falcon quite excited here. The Russian duel between Zablaski and Falcon. All right, so let's go ahead and update the scorecards real quick. The nameplates, all that good stuff. And yeah, Zablaski's in his position here, so we're going to change the scores to reflect the actual state of the game. And there we have it. Falcon says, I will go lizard people and ban wood elves. Zablaski says hello again. All right, guys, so now we're officially here. Oh, no. Falcon might have, hopefully didn't. If you're getting your drops out of the way now, Falcon, that's the time to do it. So in the meantime, though, let's go ahead and update the bracket. So it's actually going to be Imperator. We're not going to get rid of his name. It's gonna be here with pride, because it's not his fault that his connection wouldn't work today. We will add a new name, so we're going to add Zablaski. Actually, no, we could just drag Zablaski from down here. There we go. Perfect. Imperator forever immortalized for his glorious achievements in defeating Arkin the Black, but there he is. He's back. Falcon just wanted to reset real quick, apparently. Everything okay? Falcon says, me play lizard people. Yeah, this is going to be good. Alpine Rage is the map, and he's banning Dark Elves and Wood Elves. Oh, and Vampire, so he actually changed his mind. All right. All right, I like this. Let's go ahead and switch back to the lobby here. There we go. We'll see, Zardar. Who knows? So obviously, Flying Taco waits atop his throne of skulls with a very, very solid 2-0 victory in the beginning. And now we have Falcon. Zalaski's like, damn it, I was just thinking of Vampirates. Let me think for a minute. That was what he wanted to play. So Lizard People are going to be the pick for Falcon. We're on Alpine Ridge. Missile play is a little bit awkward here. Granted, you can take some good side angles and stuff. Thank you guys all for your support today. I know we've had some technical issues, but again, it's nobody's fault really. It's just life. Yeah. Falcon is the Warhammer version of Doom Guy. I really like that. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you guys were to correlate a Warhammer fantasy character to actual Doom Guy, who would it be? Like, who would be the Doom Guy as far as like legendary lords go? I'm curious to see what you guys would think. I would say like Volkmar the Grim might be the closest, like in terms of thematics. Maybe not like, because he's kind of like, you know, so fervent about banishing, you know, the demons, and he's so like aggressive and just like fervent. I don't know. Falcon's going to grab some tea while his opponent thinks, which is fair play. Don't you put that evil on a Zardar Total War. Don't you do it. You know, Falcon is one to bring a Wild Dread Saurian, even if it's not like, you know, strong in the matchup. And he still makes it work because his micro is so good. Yes, we do have the Russian duel, Falcon and Zablaski, both from Russia. Well, you know, GSL 38, that's very true, but alas, it's actually not my fault this time, believe it or not. My internet's been good today. Granted, I don't want to put a jinx on it. But, yeah, it was not my internet this time. Why is someone saying Tretch? No, it can't be Archeon because Doom Guy is like the demon killer, right? Gotrek? Yeah, Gotrek wins it, I think. All right, if I had to, yeah, Gotrek is basically Doom Guy. He's just jacked. He's ruthless. He's just going in for the kill against all the baddies. Yeah, I think Gotrek is the right one. Zablaski's going to go High Elves. Well, Falcon went to go grab some tea. Looks like he might have jumped out of the lobby again. Maybe just resetting it to be safe. Who knows? Come on, Falcon, hold firm. We will see. We will give it a try at least. Just the cursed stream, man. Like, the big culmination. We have 2 of the 4 players just crashing out. Oh, man. Yeah, but it's like I said, everyone all over the globe is having internet issues. It's the fight to decide who is the most bloodful of the 2. Oh, man. Oxodal is a chameleon skink that sold the Realm of Chaos for years. I think he is the closest to Zachariah. That's pretty funny. I got to look up the lore on that guy. Yeah. Gotrek, yeah. Gotrek is so mad about the old world that he's coming in. He's coming in to smash Age of Sigmar 2. I think Italian Spartacus was streaming some Doom. If you guys want to see that. Both Oxyotl and Gotrek are a good fit. Hang on, I got to find a picture of Oxyotl. How do you spell it? Okay. Damn it, I have to like go back to the stream constantly to like find this. Oxyotl. Okay. OXY, so it's like Oxy and then Otl. Okay. Okay, let's see what he looks like. Just a super angry chameleon skink. Oh my god, he's pretty freaky looking. As far as those little critters go. Zablaski says, it's just that 2 out of 3 Russian players have internet connection problems today. Zablaski says, what if I'm next? Oh, is Imperator Russian? I didn't know that. All right, Falcon's back. Let's make it work. Let's fight. So he picked High Elves. So we got High Elves versus Lizards. This is kind of a fun one. This is like a classic Warhammer 2 duel. Yeah, Kaldor Drago for sure. He is a chameleon skink. You know, somebody raised a pretty interesting question in one of the previous All right, Zablaski's ready. Falcon picking his army. But on one of the previous streams, we had a really funny question. Like, who would win? Like, what Warhammer unit? So if you're looking at all of the rosters, what Warhammer unit do you think you could take in physical hand-to-hand combat? No weapons, just hand-to-hand fisticuffs. I think the only ones that, maybe like a peasant mob. But, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I could take a skink. But I'm like, really? Like, I feel like skinks are super slippery, you know? I mean, although I guess if you look at skinks, like, and they probably would lose to like a state trooper in like a wrestling grappling match, but I don't know, like, don't they have like sharp? Well, I guess chameleon skinks. I don't know if they have sharp teeth, like in claws and stuff. Like, you really got to take that all into account if you're just fisticuffs. But yeah, definitely peasant mobs. Could probably take peasants, maybe a Skaven slave, but even Skaven slaves, I feel like would be hard to take because they're just like it's like, you know, ravenous animals are ferocious. It's like, really, you know, I don't know. Humans really have it pretty rough in Warhammer. It's just like, even the Skaven slave is like a terrifying thing for a human to have to fight. Let alone like a clan rat. I don't know though. Yeah, I guess they're just not physically strong. Falcon says, ready, let's go, champ. Let's do it. Let's do it to it, my friends. So we load in Zablaski making the final tweaks to his army. And now it is time. Let us go forth. Falcon versus Zablaski in the surprise ECL Grand Finals. Let's have a salute. Pour one out for our boy Imperator, who could not connect at all today. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame indeed. But here we are, Zablaski and Anticity stepping it up. Of course, they did qualify for the Grand Finals, so definitely, in my opinion, the right thing to do. Have those lads duke it out for the strap here. A Fellbat? No. You know what happens when you fight Fellbats. Yeah, maybe a zombie for sure, maybe. I don't know. A goblin? Yeah. I think I could take a goblin. A peasant. Maybe, like, it depends on the state trooper, right? Like, because there's varying levels of skill. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're bringing in new world martial arts into, like, you know, a setting like this, it is quite helpful, right? Like, I don't know if a state trooper is going to know how to grapple with someone who, you know, has wrestling or Brazilian jiu-jitsu experience, right? But nonetheless, maybe peasant, for sure peasant mobs, probably Skaven slaves, goblins. But aside from that, I couldn't think of much else, really. I was like, maybe some the zombie thing is like a toss-up, right? Because if it bites you or something, like, you just lose. And I'm talking like bear combat. Like, so fighting a zombie is rough with just like no weapon. You're going to have to like knock it over and like give it a good stomping. I don't know. That's all scary. Warhammer's just rough. I would even be afraid to fight a skink or a Skaven slave. Like, screw that. Like, the Skaven slave will probably bite you, get some sort of infection. All right, guys, here we are. So for Falcon, let's take a look. Oh, the Feral Dread Saurian. Oh, baby, it's here. Falcon certainly doing his lizard people proud. Skink cohorts into the sunset. Secondary line is going to be red-crested skinks. We do also have a couple chameleons. Coldland Riders in the back. And for his lord, we have a Heaven's Caster for, obviously, to destroy the archers. And a Slime Mage with high magic with Tempest Apotheosis. Very, very powerful army. We got the mighty Dread Saurian. What else do you need? And now for the forces here of Zablaski's got White Lions into the sunset with Techless, which is definitely the right way to do it if you're going with archers. Netting is very, very powerful. And we do also have Sisters of Avalorn, 2 spears on the flanks. The Fireborn, Dragon Princes, a very elite army as well. This is going to be great, man. This is going to be a good scrap. So we're getting some cool factions today. Some good faction diversity. Getting to see some High Elves in action, which is always fun. So the High Elves are going to make their way around the lip, and over the hill, the mighty Dread Saurian will emerge. And these sisters definitely have their work cut out for them, because, like, aside from... It's kind of like the same thing we saw when Flying Taco was able to defeat A-Move Hackers High Elves earlier. Like, by eliminating the sisters and making sure they couldn't shoot, like, the whole time. In this case, like, if the Everqueen's Court Guard and the Sisters of Avalorn get killed by Windblast, which Falcon is so good at, then there's not going to be a whole lot to kill the Dread Saurian, which will just pretty much go balls deep on all these forces. Now, Fireborn do have anti-large, but the Dread Saurian itself has 100 armor, and Fireborn have okay AP. It's not great. So it's a little bit scary. Those sisters are really going to have to put the game on their back, or the back on their game. Yeah, we'll see. So White Lions are going to be turning around. Frontline engagement will probably be pretty good for Zablaski. White Lions, of course, can do some good work against skinks. It's going to be pretty solid for them. There are a lot of cav for Falcon as well. Coldland Riders. They're not the Spear Riders also. So Falcon went for the standard Coldland Riders just to get the better kind of generalist use out of them, so they'll actually be pretty good. And what Falcon will probably do is use his skinks in the front line and countercharge here with the Cold One Riders to pound into the White Lions, which will probably crumble them rather quickly. But a lot of it's going to come down to the play of Teclis, his nets. Looks like a little bit of skink poke going on our boy Teclis. He'll fall back. It's not a problem. Not too much damage. And Teclis has nets, Enfeebling Foe, and Regrowth, which is good. Teclis, of course, can use a Regrowth on Fireborn and basically just uses nets on everything else. That's a big threat here. So skinks pouring in once again. Falcon trying to get a little bit of poke in there. Feel his opponent out. Skinks sending a message early. Sisters are going to be shooting, actually, using some of their precious ammo here to shoot into the chameleons, but he's not going to be taking that for free. And the White Lions are actually advancing upward. And I would imagine, yeah, both players have to be very careful. Good armies here on both sides. So the skinks here taking a little bit of damage. I've only lost 2 models after all those volleys, which is quite good here for the lizards. And now we have some skink cohorts coming up, and it looks like an apotheosis is going to be used on the little skink boys. So those guys are really going to shake off that firepower they took from the sisters. And the thing is like, Zablasky can't really charge them too much with the dragon. I mean, he can, but then there's going to be counter-charging from the cold ones and also cohort overwatch fire coming in. So now it looks like both players are advancing. The time is now. The Dread Saurian is on this side, and it looks like it's going to be kind of rotating away because the sisters are here, right? If you look at line of sight, the Dread Saurian is pretty well hidden now. Granted, they can't shoot over the hill, but it's still a harder target. So I would imagine the Dread Saurian is going to try and collapse his flank here. So over here we have Red Crested Skinks as well as the Colden Riders. Falcon's Lord moving in on his mobility scooter. And the Cohort of Sotek getting ready to party. Cohort of Sotek plus Colden Riders should be able to crump down some of these guys pretty good. And here comes the cap play. So Colden Riders charging in. You can see the White Lions are being punted and also clubbed by some of these Skinks here. I love when the Skinks swing those big old hammers. It's so ridiculous. But this is actually pretty rough here. And Falcon, of course, his playstyle is known by many. He really likes to do these big overloads like this and just crash on flanks. And the White Lions here get crumped pretty hard, and honestly, the Dread Saurian's not taking too much damage so far, and very minimal losses for the value he was able to get there, and now the Fireborn will countercharge in. Wind Blast coming in, but Zablasky is able to dodge that, which is very, very important there. And now the Lizards are going to be committing to a balls deep fight here against the Fireborn, which, you know, with the Dread Saurian here and Red Crested Skinks applying poison, it's really not a bad situation. Like, that's pretty good. Fireborn are going to lose some models here for sure. The Dread Saurian coming in. But Zablasky is doing a good job pulling back and keeping his sisters firing. It looks like they are shooting into some of the Colden Riders there. Enfeebling Foe active as well. White Lions fighting everywhere they can, but the little skinks are getting through here and there. However, Zablasky is going to be coming in for the countercharge, and those skinks are going to get hammered by those Dragon Princes. That is going to be a righteous hammering, and they should get broken here. Now, sisters are still shooting, which is very good. Some of the cap units for Falcon are being forced back, and a bit of a second wind here for Zablasky as he is able to restabilize his position. But Shield of the Old Ones here is going to be giving general ward save to the Feral Dread Saurian, which should be okay. It's not going to take too much damage. Ammunition, pretty good here. Oh, but that Wind Blast, very, very nice. Able to do some good HP damage, but unfortunately for Falcon, it does not kill any models, which means these ladies are going to be still at full firing capacity. We pretty much just have a blob fight here. We have the Colden Riders. We do have the Cohort of Sotek. And yeah, all these boys are just kind of grinding it out here. And the Skinks and Red Crested Skinks were able to get in. And this is where it gets a little bit scary for Zablasky when he doesn't have enough mobility to stop all the skink pressure from all the different angles. So Red Crested Skinks going in here, Cohorts here. And now the sisters are going to be offline for a good probably 20 to 30 seconds, which is where the Feral Dread Saurian shines. Now this beast is going to be able to get in here and feast on the souls of some of these Dragon Princes. And these are no mere Dragon Princes. These are the Fireborn. And they're very expensive, so any losses there are very heavily felt here by the High Elves. So the Skinks are collapsing, but the Dragon Princes should be able to get some peeling done. He does have Princes here, he's got some White Lions here, so if Zablasky can re-secure this back line and get the sisters firing once again, that is going to be what needs to happen. Because otherwise, like, if this Dread Saurian continues to rampage, and honestly, I just don't think that Zablasky has enough to stop the beast now. It's full health, more or less, and the sisters are being pushed back. I don't know, maybe if all the remaining ammunition here and are able to get some good shots into the Feral Dread Saurian, maybe, but White Lions aren't going to do jack squat. Yes, YouTube, I'm paying attention. So the White Lions here, that'd be quite nice. So the Colden Riders here getting focused down, rampaging into the White Lions, which is not a bad situation for the White Lions. However, the Dread Saurian is here, Red Crested Skinks, really synergizing quite well with this combo. With the I love the combo here of the Colden Riders with the Red Crested Skinks. You get good AP across the board, poison, mobility, and honestly, the regular Colden Riders don't do terribly against large units or against large cav units. So it's really like, I really like that by Falcon. I think it's great. At the back here, skink cohorts pressuring in. We have just annoying skinks everywhere. Some Colden Riders being thrown back here. We have Red Crested Skinks pushing in. And the sisters are still on the run. And it looks like the Child of the Old Ones, Falcon, is pushing in. High Elves, though, getting a really good kind of hold here. Some of the Spearmen and White Lions are able to hold. Sisters are shooting again and peppering into those Colden Riders, which I would imagine Falcon might run them into the trees and try and stabilize here. But oh, a banishment's coming in. This could be huge. What a well-played game by both players so far. This has been an absolute scrap. So banishment going down, shrekking to Everqueen's Court Guards, who still have 55 of their 60 models, which is really powerful. And the Dragon Princes are being sent in to basically just stop the Dread Saurian, because what else can stop it at this point? Here we have Skink Cohorts still kind of holding things up. We do also have the Skink Priest of Heavens advancing into combat, and the Lizards seem to be pulling ahead ever so slightly here in this game as the Enfeebling Foe is continuing to do its thing. Oh man, another great Wind Blast here just eviscerates the Everqueen's Court Guard, putting them down to 40 models, and they're also being beaten on by this little skink here. You can see he's got his little stick. He's doing his thing. What a champ. On top of that, Feral Dread Saurian, Apotheosis keeping this boy healthy, and I feel like Zablasky is slowly starting to run out of options as the Dread Saurian is just too much. It's advancing. I mean, there's a bunch of white lines left, and that's why the Bounce Power isn't too bad, because Zablasky does have a fair amount of value left on the battlefield, but what of that value can deal with the Dread Saurian? I mean, maybe the Sisters can put some hurt on it, but man, that's going to take a lot of play from here, because man, it's looking pretty scary here. So some of the Sisters are turning to shoot into the side of the flank of the Dread Saurian. Some Dragon Princes here cleaning up the Skink Cohort, and now you can see the Everqueen's Court Guard are going to be pushed back. And yeah, they really need to be shooting. Now that's actually really good for the High Elves. The fact that the Dread Saurian has Rampage, but Apotheosis and Cold Blood immediately used by Falcon so quick on the draw there. And you can see here the big Feral Dread Saurian is crumping these Dragon Princes, no problem. And I don't think there's enough ammo left on these ladies to really do it. Even Teclis is having to get in combat here, which is always a bit of a scary thing. And yeah, you can see Teclis getting feasted on by the Dread Saurian, even with the Potion of Koroi. He takes huge damage, and now the Slan Skinks are coming in. We have the Cohort of Sotek who got their big clubs out, and they are going to be taking these ladies to the club, 50-cent style. And if I remember the lyrics of that song well, aside from Into Club, I would certainly give you guys a haggard rendition right now. But nonetheless, the Sisters of Avalorn being crumped down, and you can see the mighty Dread Saurian actually getting a little bit low here for Falcon. The Everqueen's Court Guard's really putting some hurt, and also Teclis able to ram in there a little bit. Oh man, is this where Zablasky comes back? That would be insane. That would be insane, because without the Dread Saurian, the Bounce of Power will 100% go back to the High Elves here. We have some Dragon Princes. Only one Dragon Prince, the mighty Dragon Prince fighting. Look at him. This is the last of his people getting in there and fighting. And the Dread Saurian just roaring over his face here. Skinks have swarmed into pressure. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like these ladies are pretty much going to be 100% put down. I think the Dread Saurian will hold. It still has like almost 4,000 HP or 3,000 HP there. But the white lines are putting some hurt on it. It's down to 2,800. The Bounce Power is kind of creepy, guys. A little bit of creeping going on with that Bounce of Power. As the white lines, their generalist AP value is proving to get through the 27 melee defense of the Dread Saurian. And some of the Sisters are trying to pull back and shoot, but of course Falcon is positioned pretty well with the Skinks to chase here. And ooh, that's a pretty rough loss here. But the Dread Saurian's wavering, guys. It's at -13. This is disastrous here. If the Dread Saurian were to break, and if the High Elves were able to chase it off, that would be really, really crazy. So the Dread Saurian does get the Aura of Pretzel, but it is broken, and it's now running for the hills. Chameleons, of course, shooting in. Slans coming in. The Cohort of Sotek could prove to be the breadwinners here, as they have good AP against the remnants of these High Elf troops here. And you can see Falcon is using the Chameleons to try and stabilize the Dread Saurian, and it has a lot of distance before the edge of the map, so as long as Teclis isn't able to chase down the Dread Saurian, it probably will come back. You can see that Zablasky knows that if he can get the Dread Saurian off the battlefield, this Bounce of Power will go like right back to the middle. Granted, I don't know, the Skinks are overwhelming the white lines here. The Slan is, there's a heroic Skink here as well. And man, Teclis is able to get the chase though. Now the question being though, are there any High Elf units that can rally? Looks like Falcon has some troops over here. High Elves have a lot of guys running, but I don't think they're going to be terribly combat effective. And Teclis is on the hunt, chasing down the Dread Saurian. And the white lines I don't think are going to hold, which I think will actually spell doom, because even if the Dread Saurian's gone now, there's still too much to deal with. I don't think Teclis can defeat a Slan and a Skink Priest of Heavens. Man, this was a really good game. Both players played such a scrappy battle. Teclis is broken as well, and that is going to be game 1 going to Falcon, the champion of Season 1 and 3. And the recent Everchosen too. That was such a well-played game. Those players evenly matched there. So Zablasky really putting on a good showing today for sure. That was really well played by both players. Very well played. Beautiful game. In Teclis we trust, says people in chat. Yeah. All right. There you have it, my friends. Falcon takes game 1 in this best of 3. I call it Pretzel just as a bit of a joke. It's called the Aura of Quetzal. Italian Spartacus, thank you for the donation, man, of the $2. Consider yourself rated, you hot dog. I am the hot dog. Thank you, man. Hope your stream went well. GG, huh? That was a real scrap. All right, for the next map, let's go ahead and put him on the Oaken Hammer. The Derp Saurian too strong, he says. Man, that was pretty crazy, huh? Can't beat Teclis, weakling. Teclis with his big old cane chasing him down. So we'll see what the players do. In the meantime, we'll hang out and chat. All right, perfect. Oh, are the Slanesh bots giving comments on the stream about how they love the commentary? Oh, that's great. Hadri's rooting against the Dread Saurian here. Yeah, the cohort of Sotek were the MVPs. Those guys were just like taking the ladies to the club. Oakenhammer. We have the Russian battle here between Zablasky and our boy. Ah. All right. Perfect. Alex says he could take Teclis in a fist fight. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much prowess Teclis has in combat. But he would probably just use his magic to blast you, unfortunately. But if we're talking about, I don't know. I feel like Teclis is still probably not bad. I mean, he lives in the old world, right? He's probably yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think in lore, Teclis is kind of sickly and frail, and he makes up for it with his magic. Yeah, it's a good point, man. Who knows? So Zablasky is going Vampire Coast, banning Empire and Beastmen, and Felcon is going to take Wood Elves. Nice. I'm curious to see how Zablasky will deal with this. I've always had trouble with this matchup. This is not the final match. This is we had to change some things up because one of the players just couldn't connect at all today, zero. And we waited about 30 minutes and we still couldn't get him on. So we had to replace. So we pulled in 2 players who were eliminated in the round of 8 to play for the spot. And now the winner of that is playing against Felcon. Loremaster of Sotak comes in and says, in a pure fistfight, Teclis would be screwed. See, there you go. There you go. I don't know. We have a donation from Gallahan of $7.31. Keep the great streaming. Sorry about these haggard donation amounts over the past few streams. Converting from CAD to USD leads to some janky. And I was about to say, that's a really, how did you come to that amount? But thank you so much, Gallahan. I appreciate it, man. And Rando Howard, thank you so much for the 20. This is one hot finale. It is, man. It is indeed. So thank you so much for the 20, Rando. Appreciate all the support, guys. I mean, it really helps in these hard times, for sure. Granted, the YouTube still does, provide me with a decent living, but the ad rates just have tanked horribly because I don't think advertisers are wanting to advertise in this time, right? It's just, it's tanking pretty good. So I really do appreciate the support, guys. It means a lot. And I'll be streaming almost every day this week. Alexander Hornquist, hopefully I said your name right. What is that emoji? 19 SEK. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in lore, Loremaster of Sotek. So, Sotek, now that you're here in chat, explain Teclis' situation. He had health issues, right? And was physically weak and was born very frail compared to regular high elves. So, and then basically his whole life he just studied super hard, magic, and I think he even augments his physical form with magic to make him a little bit more proficient in fighting. But if we're talking no magic, yeah. Gelt could just headbutt Gorst. Okay, in a fist fight with no magic, I think Gelt could probably take Helman Gorst. Gorst looks really emaciated, really emaciated. Yeah. So it looks like Felcon is ready. Wood Elves are his pick here. Zablasky is on the Vampire Coast. All hail the mighty. Love me some Vampire Coast. And he's basically just making his build here. I wonder if we're going to see Zablasky's signature build, which is the double gunnery white sniping goon squad. You can't really go Queen Best here because players like Felcon, who know the matchup, will simply just bring... sorry, I'm just sitting back and doing some stretches here real quick, guys. Players like Felcon will simply bring, what's it called? The Arrows of Kurnus, and your artillery will just get sniped, especially Queen Best. Mortars are fine, carronades are fine, but regular artillery, or big artillery like Queen Best, will get put in a trash can pretty hard by that focus fire. So, yeah, we'll see. Oakenhammer's the map. Pretty open field. There are a couple little tree patches, but the Wood Elves don't really care. They have stock, so they can hide in plain sight. And I don't know, Falcon could go for a melee rush too. He could go for like a big old Dryad War Dancer rush with a little bit of light archer support. There's a number of ways Falcon can play this. A number of ways. We'll see. Hey, we have a new member, Travers Wolf. Thank you so much for becoming a member here on the channel. Do appreciate that quite a bit. And yeah, man, welcome. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party indeed. Yeah, the bots are really annoying for sure. All right, guys, so for the build of Falcon, in the front, he's got Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shard. So these guys have extra damage at the cost of range. And they also do magic damage, which means they can kill sirens and ghosts and all sorts of spooky things. And just like we predicted, he has the double Waystalker. The reason you do this here is to use the Arrows of Kurnus to snipe artillery. And also they put some pretty big hurt on like Colossus and other big armored threats. Even though their AP isn't insane, it's still enough. Like 100 or 70 AP is still something. Whatever it is. Dryads in the front, Spears in the secondary, Sisters of Thorn for free magic, and an Ancient Tree Man of Life. So bring in the Ancient Tree Man just to get some big AP punch and also some healing. So it's a pretty cool build. Now for the forces of Zablaski, let's see how he deals with this. He's got Lamprey's Revenge, Rotting Prometheans, the Black Spot. He does have Bombers, Deckhand Mobs, and it looks like he has double Carronade, which he will lose 2 Carronades instantly from the Arrows of Kurnus probably, but the Carronades are going to be decent here against the Tree Man, but I would imagine Falcon will just hide the Tree Man out of range until he doesn't need to anymore. Deck Droppers for Zablaski as well. Looks like he does have 4 of them, so Deck Droppers here could be okay against like War Dancers and Dryads, and obviously can flank the Archers, but they're a very squishy target themselves, so we'll see how this goes. It's a cool build. It's got crabs to roadblock, infantry rushes. He's got bombers to help with infantry rushes as well. Carronades for the long game. Oh, I thought that was a bloated corpse. I got so excited for a second. I was like, oh, what's happening? But it's actually a Vampire Fleet Admiral with a pistol. So this is Zablaski is one of the players that you often see play Vampire Coast, and he just does not bring the Legendary Lords. He really likes these ones. And she's got her pistol too, and the pistol has good AP, so it can work down big trees and different threats like that. Good luck, have fun. We'll see how this goes. Can have a sip of my tea here in the second game. If Falcon does win this, he'll be advancing on to face his good friend Flying Taco. Anakin versus Obi-Wan all over again. But if Zablaski wins, we go to game 3. We get a rubber match. We'll see how it goes. Falcon's build seems very well thought out for sure, as does Zablaski's. The Carronades I'm a huge fan of. Good against Wild Riders, good against trees, and honestly they can put some hurt on Archers as well. Granted, the Swift Shiver Shard Archers are going to be a big issue. And there are no Scurvy Dogs here. I would have liked to have seen maybe like some Scurvy Dog action to just at least keep Falcon honest, because now Falcon has pretty much free range with these Archers. Like, the only thing that can really pressure them is going to be the Deck Droppers and the Carronades, which, I mean, until the late game, obviously, then you can chase them with other things, but yeah, we'll see. So the Carronades are going to be shooting in. I would imagine they'll immediately train their sights here on the Tree Man in the back. So it looks like the first couple volleys are going to be going into some of these Eternal Guard. A couple misses, obviously the tree line there. If you zoom out, you can see there's actually a bit of foliage there. I obviously have the setting where, yeah, but you see he doesn't see the Deepwood Scouts yet. And you can see here the Waystalkers are actually picking off the Deck Droppers, which actually is really cost effective. Like, each of those shots might like almost kill a model. Yeah, you can see 2 models left. Each shot is killing one of those bats. That's actually really painful. Now, where are the cannons shooting? It looks like going into the Ancient Tree Man? No, not yet. Deck Droppers are kind of just harassing a little bit, but honestly, they're getting outvalued pretty hard here. Now, the Vampire Coast will be moving forward. Vampire Coast does have a bigger front line. In terms of overall gold investment, yeah, the Vampire Coast probably has the advantage in the frontline fight. And, the crabs here are armored, and Deepwood Scouts don't have the best AP values. Arrows of Kurnus, just insane value. You can see here, 2 cannons taken out off that first Carronade. Now, I mean, man, that's so brutal. It's so cost effective. It almost makes me wonder if it's even worth it. Maybe doing like a rush build with like Depth Guard and Mourngulls would be better against like a build like this, or against the Waystalkers. Anyways, here, Deck Droppers are flying in, going to be taking some freebies here on the Dryads if they can. Bombers are being pulled up from the reserve to work on the Dryads. And Deck Droppers in the back just shooting into the back of the Eternal Guard, trying to get value where they can. Zablaski with good control though, dodging a lot of the shots, hasn't really taken too much. One of his units here does get hit pretty hard, and now we have the Black Spot able to unleash some salvos of fire here into the Dryads. So Bomber's going down to the front line. That's going to be pretty painful for Falcon's Dryads. It looks like he's turning and is going to be unleashing a salvo of bombs into the other group of Dryads, but those Bombers are pretty much done for. The cannons are shooting in and getting some really good work actually into the Deepwood Scouts in the back, but I think there's, yeah, only 1 cannon left. The other cannon is gone. There's only 1 Carronade now, so Vampire Coast really going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, get in there and scrap. Now the Deckhand mobs have been sent in. Bombers getting some good crossfire. If Zablaski can win the frontline engagement and push the Dryads off, maybe that's going to give him a decent opportunity here. Now, we do have the Sisters coming in. Some of the Crabs are trying to rush and intercept, but they're also taking some Deepwood Scout fire. Now, where is Falcon going to put his Deepwood Scouts? Man, brutal volley coming into those deck droppers. Those guys are just getting worked down there. In the meantime, though, Bombers are doing really well against Dryades, and Vampire Coast is going to be pressing into the flank here. Maybe these deck droppers should be really aggressive on the Deepwood Scouts, but yeah, one of those guys really crumped pretty hard. But the Dryad front line is crumbling, guys. That means Vampire Coast might be able to push in. I think Zablasky needs to pull back here with his Lamprey's Revenge. They're taking a lot of damage and could definitely use an invocation. Maybe gather up the bats and the crabs and get a big invo here. But it looks like he's going to be using it in the front. No, that's actually an Earthblood by the Ancient Treeman. So here, we have the Black Spot shooting in. Probably going to be going after the Ancient Treeman, I would imagine. Vampire Coast doing very well for itself in the front line. The Vampire Fleet Admiral helping out quite a bit to push back the Dryads. We still do have 2 cannons left. Falcon seems to be focusing the cannons very aggressively with the Waystalkers. So now there's only 2 cannon pieces firing still. So the other crew pretty much done for. Might as well send them into melee combat. Crabs are falling back, being chased by Eternal Guard, and the Sisters of Thorn are trying to pin them. So what Falcon's probably going to do here is get the Sisters and pin in the Crabs and pin them into spears, maybe. Or you could just go into the back line and try and take out like the Black Spot or something like that. In the meantime, though, you know, some of the Deepwood Scouts are very beat up. The Jack Droppers are back here, and a nice Zombie Pirate Gunnery Summon is going to put some pressure on them. But the Deepwood Scouts are pretty good on ammo as well, which is a little bit concerning here for the Vampire Coast. Now in the frontline fight, though, the Ancient Treeman is taking a lot of damage. Scroll of Shielding and Shield of Thorns used here to make sure he takes less. With the Black Spot, and the cannon's still going. How many cannons are left? Man, that's so brutal. Like how efficiently he got rid of the cannons. Yeah, all cannons are down. There's no more cannons left. And with that, the bounce power is pretty even. Yeah, like right in the middle, but I would say currently it's going to be pretty tough here for the Vampire Coast. Granted, depends on the Winds of Magic situation. There still are some angry crabs still going strong, and the Bombers here should be able to turn and take out these Eternal Guard no problem. But the Jack Droppers being offline is definitely painful. Takes away the mobility and flexibility here from the Vampire Coast. And the Deepwood Scouts are still in fighting shape, except for this one group. I mean, for the most part, they're pretty good. Here we have the Rotting Prometheans, which is a decent fight. I mean, the Treeman is armored, and you know he has AP himself, though, so maybe the Crabs want to pull back and let some of the handguns here. Of course, the Black Spot is probably going to be the next target here. Yeah, those Rotting Prometheans probably going to get focused down by the Treeman plus all the Deepwood Scouts. Here, some of the Bat Boys are back, though, shooting in, and you can see the Eternal Guard really getting crumped by the Bombers of Zablasky. And Zablasky's bomber play has been really, really good this game. It's been one of the sole reasons why the frontline fighting has been so good for him. The Black Spot's still operational as well, and it looks like the Arrows of Kurnus are being used on the Vampire Fleet Admiral now. Looks like she is unleashing her pistol here into the Eternal Guard, and this fight's going pretty well for the Wood Elves. Looks like they're probably going to win this engagement over here. Rotting Prometheans are being forced down. Ancient Treeman taking minimal damage in the engagement, but ammunition running a little bit sparse here for some of the Elves. At about 15-20% across the board. Zablasky still does have the Lamprey's Revenge. He definitely needs to get someone to kind of free those guys up because they need to be doing more important things here. Now the handguns are shooting into the Ancient Treeman once again. He's at 4,000 HP, so that boy is pretty thick here for sure. A lot of halberds and bombers, though, to be honest, for the Vampire Coast. Though the bounce of power, I think, is still... Oh, man, look at the damage that Vampire Fleet Admiral took. He must have gotten in range of the Deepwood Scouts. I think there's going to be a zombie summon back here on these Eternal Guard, I would imagine. Bombers are coming in as well. So, yeah, I would maybe turn the Crabs around and fight for a second to allow the Bombers to catch up. But the bounce of power did go a little bit in the favor of the Wood Elves, simply because the Vampire Fleet Admiral did take a lot of damage. Opal Amulet popped here, and the Bombers should be throwing here. Hopefully Zablasky's paying attention because he really needs to get this peeled here. Now back in the frontline fighting, we have halberds just kind of grinding it out. Deepwood Scouts are about to run out of ammo. And honestly, I would just keep Lamprey's Revenge like out of range of the archers, because in the late game, if these guys are still healthy and alive, that could be really nasty. Invo going down on the Fleet Admiral here. And man, a little bit of a lapse of micro with the Zablasky's bombers. He could have finished off those Eternal Guard there, which would have been huge. However, the Ancient Treeman's very low as well, 2,500. It's pretty low by his standards. And he's going to be taking some heavy fire from the Black Spot for quite some time. Looks like some zombies are able to push back here, and Lamprey's Revenge need to be saved. They're very important here. And it looks like there's some sort of a zombie summon going down here, so he does summon some gunnery mobs to try and shoot and peel off for the Lamprey's Revenge, but they're getting chased pretty hard, and it's only a matter of time before they start losing models pretty heavily. Ancient Treeman here getting forced back as well. Earthblood going down on himself, and the Dryads here. Looks like some wild halberds are trying to chase him down. This is a really good battle, though, man. These players having an amazing series here today. It's been very, very even up until now. And the Carronade crew even getting their hands dirty. I would imagine bombers are going to be surging forward, but you still have to deal with two Waystalkers, which not going to be fun. Treeman is forced back, 1,800 HP here. Vampire Coast may be able to stabilize the situation by getting some zombies in here, but I don't think the Invo's here. I think he's pretty low in Winds of Magic. Otherwise, we'd seen Invo. Yeah, Lamprey's Revenge going down was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. He really needed those guys in the late game. And I think the Vampire Fleet Admiral was actually sniped. I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure it was sniped by the Waystalkers. There's two Waystalkers, both of which are out of ammo, more or less. One of them has a couple volleys. Halberds are still holding in the front line, and I think that's going to be GG. Yeah, man, what a game. That was a really good scrap, honestly. It was like an 8 or 9 minute game. There were some moments that I think either player could have pulled ahead, but the arrows of Kurnus on the cannons were just so cost effective. I think the Lamprey's Revenge were a little bit ineffective as well. I think they were chasing for a lot of the game, and then at the late game there, they just kind of got trapped by a bunch of spears. And what else? Infantry aren't slow. Well, Eternal Guard only have 33 speed, but some of the other infantry are pretty quick. Depot Scouts moving into combat now, and that is going to be Falcon moving on to the finals to face his good friend Flying Taco, Anakin versus Obi-Wan, all over again in the grand finals. So let's go ahead and update the nameplate here. There you have it. And yeah, that's that, huh? What a game. So that is updated. Let's go to the bracket. It is going to be Falcon moving on to face Flying Taco. The two friends, the XMT Grand Final, yes. So let's go ahead and get this going. GG, well played. Falcon, stay here. So Flying Taco, if you're watching, please just join this lobby. We'll just keep it simple. Zablaski's like, I'll finally be able to order some food. But let's have a big round of applause for Zablaski stepping it up, winning the re-qualifier, and having two very close games with Falcon that almost could have gone either way. So very well played to him. And now, my friends, we get the grand finale of the ECL Season 4. It is upon us. As we move back in, we have Flying Taco versus Falcon. Let's go ahead and update this bracket here. Hiya, now we have Taco. Perfect. The XMT Grand Finale. Pillar is first map. Taco start with bands. A little bit of lag here. Should subside in a moment as the players do connect. Yeah, man. Obi-Wan, Taco, and Obi. Oh, man. That was a really, really well played game. Yeah, the Dryads do really well in that matchup. I do indeed. So 2 XMT Clem members making it here to the finals. All right, perfect. Okay, both players. Why did it say Imperator has been dropped from the game? He's not even here anymore. All right, so we'll get him back in a second. Perhaps there's something going on with Steam too. Who knows? I think they're just resetting. I think they're actually in chat together. So they're just gonna. Oh no. Falcon is on the correct side. Good. I think that's where I put his nameplate. Alrighty, perfect, perfect. So we're gonna reset the lobby. Turin ECL Grand Finale. In all caps, to really just send a message. So Taco and Falcon, the lobby is reset. We're going to be on the Pillar of Bone here for your first map in this best of 5. Falcon, quick on the draw. Goodness, he gets in that lobby fast. Pillar of Bone, where are you? And here we go. So you're probably going to see some Beastmen play, I would imagine. Oh, man. Is there a possibility of a mirror matchup? It's certainly possible. They are playing for $200 here. Hey, Onyage, welcome, man. Got to get you back in these games, dude. You're missed, brother. We got the great Onyage here in chat. A veteran of Warhammer multiplayer. So, here we go. Taco P1. Go, go. Players will do their picks and bans here. See how this goes. We will see how this goes indeed. And again, guys, thanks for joining. Also, we have another donation coming in. I did miss it during the game, so my apologies, from Little Raven. $15. Turin, you do such great work for the community. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really kind of you to say, Little Raven. And sorry I missed your donation there. I was just trying to get this going. Please don't make me do a mirror match. Please don't make me do it. So yes, they're probably working out their picks and bans. They're in chat together right now. I can see them in the Discord. So they're probably just talking it through here rather than having to type it, which is completely fair play. This is going to be a good one, though. Flying Taco was able to defeat Talaxla and Soothsayer recently. And, of course, Falcon having an amazing run, as you just saw. So we have a report coming in from Imperator. He says it was a packet loss from his internet service provider, Xfinity. So basically his internet service provider just screwed him. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. He's saying it'll probably be fixed, which is good. So we'll get him on a stream this week and have him play the winner of this in a best of 7 or something fun. So yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good indeed. So Imperator will be back in his former form. Taco's going to pick Norska. And man, this is like I literally feel like I'm watching Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. These guys are just like good pals. I mean, of course, without all the bad blood, that exists in the prequels. Man, I need to open a window or something. Hang on, guys. We'll be right back. All right, back in business. So yeah, he was saying he had some loss with his internet service provider, and he just now fixed it. So yeah, that would have been a pretty long wait for sure. Taco is literally flying. Of course, he has the high ground. Yeah, that's true. So are you guys saying Falcon is Anakin? And actually, Flying Taco does always play under the name General Kenobi, so I suppose he has to be it in this case. And of course, the flying one would have the high ground advantage. So it's going to be Dark Elves versus... Oh, don't you do it to me. So Taco picks Norska, bans Lizardmen and Wood Elves. So he bans Falcon, 2 of Falcon's strongest factions right away. It's best of 5, by the way. So you 2 can... So single ban here. And that usually how it goes. Just check in with the guys. I'm pretty sure in best of 5 we usually do single bans. Yeah. 3, 2, repick. Yeah, so best of 5 we're doing a single ban. Otherwise, like, you just kind of run out of factions. It's like, it's a little bit ridiculous. You were my taco brother! Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, if Taco wins, he'll have to take the legs. I love that. Hey, we have a donation coming in just now from Mr. Pig. Pumbaa coming in hot with a fat 50. Pumbaa, thank you so much. Is it okay? Is Pumbaa or Mr. Pig? Either one works, right? They're both names of the character. Thank you so much, Jason. I really do appreciate it. So, are we going to have a Norska versus Norska mirror? Please, no. No, God, no. 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 It's like that meme with Steve Carell, from The Office. Oh, no. They would do this to me. Is it a mirror match? No. 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 All right. At least he's... Okay. He's going to make it a little bit better for us and go Wintertooth. So we have Wintertooth against... against Norska. Oh, my God. Of course. Of course these two, of all people. Oh, God. It's happening. No, God, no. So we have Norska versus Norska. Oh, my God. What trolls. They both wanted Norska, though. So I guess it's partially trolling, but also partially like what they wanted to play here on this map in this situation. So I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably going to be Throg versus Wolfric. Misha, who do you want to ban? The bots? Yeah, you're allowed to do mirror matches. There's nothing against it. God, why they got to do this to us? Oh, as if we haven't had enough technical issues. Oh, man. stretching out the old bones. Have some tea in the meantime and chat with you guys. I've been throgged. Dude, I got throgged so hard. Why not simply make a match of note? Because, you know, like, I don't want to, like, ban out, like, a faction, like, mirror matches, per se. Because, like, there are some players who like to practice mirror matches to catch their opponents off guard. So, I mean, you know, other RTS games have mirror matches. It would be kind of like, yeah. Oh, Misha, I know. I know. Yeah, this is wild. This is going to be a wild one. There is $200 on the line for the winner. So, I mean, I would imagine they're going to be trying. Especially in these dire times of the apocalypse. You know, every cent counts nowadays. So many people losing their jobs. My stepdad just got laid off his job, and it's like, man, everything's like... Then my dad in New York is like, you know, works hard, obviously. They're not going to be like filming and doing TV stuff during all this. So it's like, it's really hard for everyone right now. So yeah, the $200, you know, it's something. That'll buy you a lot of toilet paper in this apocalypse. I got throgged, yeah. It's very true, Tank. I'm thinking about it. Maybe. Oh man, mirror matches. I just hope they don't do like multiple mirror matches in a row. Just one. One is fine. I will ask them though if they troll again with double mirror matches to you know. This is like, it's a pretty common thing when two like friends are forced into an awkward confrontation. I've noticed this a lot. Like they'll kind of like mess around instead of trying, you know, because they don't want to be like, you know, it's a weird thing. Like when two friends are forced to battle. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they'll try. Look at what the bot said. Oh my god. The bot says condom mirror. Yes, let's see which brand is supreme. Oh my god, they're striking. Cirtha Ek versus Italian Spartacus recreation. Oh man, those were the glory days for sure. You know what would be really fun to do would be to do like a modded campaign head to head with Spartacus where I play a Cirtha Ek sub faction. Just spam chariots. Is there a Cirtha Ek mod that actually opens up his campaign and gives him like some unique trees? You know, like Chariot God. You know, like his chariots get like extra like charge bonus or something stupid like that. I know there's a faction unlocker probably where you can play Cirtha Ek. But like, you know, if it's just a vanilla Norskin faction, then it's probably not that fun. Flying Dutchman, to buy some aspirin to deal with the headache of mirror matches provide. Thank you, man. Really do appreciate that. Flying Taco's from America. Yeah. Falcon, of course, Russian, as you guys know. Falcon's really thinking about this build. Usually he's very quick on the picks. Flying Taco's ready with Wintertooth. So he probably just picked Wintertooth to spare me the having to cast the two same ones there. Lexi's getting real into this. So yes, it is going to be the double Skinwolf matchup. Skinwolves are obviously good against Norska, so I would imagine we're going to see some Skinwolf fighting. I think we'll see Throg, though. Honestly, Throg is not bad in this matchup. Like, there's not too much missile play to punish him. The Javelins can, but I mean, Throg is good against Famir. He's good against Skinwolves. He's decent against Mammoths. Like, he can fight Mammoths pretty well with his mass, his Frostbite, his anti-large. Like, I wouldn't even consider Throg to be a meme in this mirror matchup. I mean, granted, the Mammoth is really powerful still. All right, we're loading in. Here we go. It's going to be game one in this best of 5 grand finale of the Eternal Challenger League Season 4. Who shall be crowned? Shall Falcon become a 3-time champion? He won Season 1, 3, and potentially 4 here if he wins this. However, Taco's coming for that strap. And he is flying, so he must have the high ground, as you guys have inferred here. Sorry, guys, just changing something on my floor here. The battle is going to be underway soon. Norska on Norska here in this first match. Both players refusing to budge off their picks. Lizardmen were banned here in the first game. I would imagine that Falcon would have picked Dinos if they were open. So, armies seem pretty serious for the most part. Some light trolling, quite literally going on, but trolls actually, the frost trolls probably aren't terrible here. Yeah, and Felcon's army seems very serious. So, despite the fact that it is a mirror match, it seems like they're both trying here, which is good. So, we got Marauders. We do have Skin Wolves as well. Of course, Anti-Large is very good. We have a Metal Sorcerer to give the Plague of Rust and the Searing Doom on a multitude of targets. A couple Horsemen as well. Marauder Horsemen, Norscan Warhounds, and then we do also have the Glorious Frostworm. So, the Frostworm is a pretty powerful sniping tool. Frostbite, breath attacks are helpful, and of course it hits pretty hard with its AP values. Oh, is he double Frostworm? No, he's just one. Okay, he just moved it. So, and yeah, of course it's going to be Wulfric here. So, for the armies here of Wintertooth, who shall be led by Flying Taco, Berserkers and Marauders on the front line. So his troop quality is already better than that of Felcon's in terms of just frontline infantry. 2 Javelins as well. A Firecaster appears to be the choice here. Fireball, Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak. Throg is here with the Wintertooth Crown. And guys, we have a War Shrine Mammoth. Oh, hell yeah. War Shrine Mammoth is some metal shit. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's so cool. And, of course, it does have the Giver of Glory, so you can imbue fire damage and also gives leadership to the trolls nearby, which is really good. And he has a couple of Norscan ice trolls here, which could be pretty powerful. The Frostbite, and they hit very, very hard. So we got Skin Wolves and Skin Wolves in the back. And that's going to be it. Yeah, this is actually going to be a fun match. I'm excited for this now. Good luck, have fun. So, yeah, I mean, the Troll's certainly going to pack some punch. The Mammoth and the Dragon are really going to have to pay huge dues here. Both armies, of course, knowing the Mammoths are quite powerful and bringing one to the battlefield. We have the War Shrine facing off against Wulfric. The War Shrine does, of course, have some really, really cool buffs. So you can, like, buff up Throg, give him, like, fire damage, and with the Giver of Glory. There's really cool combos you can do. You don't see it often. In the meantime, Marauders of Flying Taco are going to be screening out the forces of Felcon here. Marauder Horsemen are going to be thrown in, and it looks like Taco is going to be pressing the issue rather quickly. And Felcon is going to be going for a frontal charge here. As you can see, the Skin Wolves are going to be charging into Marauders. And a Fireball going up and hitting the Frostworm right in the back. And here comes the Skin Wolves. So they're able to jump on the Marauders. Not too much damage going in. Skin Wolves don't have, insane shock damage. It's certainly not bad. But the Javelins of Taco really forcing back the forces of Felcon. You can see Felcon is being forced back here a little bit. However, his skirmishing on the far side is going well. He does have the Norscan Warhounds around the back, and some of the Javelins are being poked down as well. So yeah, Felcon really trying to stretch out this battle. You can see the cycle charging from the Skin Wolves, certainly impactful here. But the Norscan Ice Trolls are going to come in now, and these Norscan Ice Trolls will act good. Skin Wolves are getting worn down. On the far side, though, Felcon is going to be doing his overload here, trying to collapse here. And there's not too much to defend here, to be honest, just some Marauders, really, and there's Hounds coming in the back. Felcon really going for a huge overload here. You can see it's going to be quite punishing. However, Taco here is able to really do some serious damage to the Skin Wolves. Burning Head kind of misses there, which is unfortunate. And now we have Trolls, we have Skin Wolves, and we do also have the War Mammoth coming in, which I would imagine will keep these Norscan Trolls fighting a little bit longer with its War Shrine, and Throg is coming in as well. So if Taco's able to hold here, unfortunately a Terror Route going down, and Hunter of Champions on Throg is activated, and Wulfric's going in for the duel, so we have the Civil War. We have Throg against Wulfric. Breath attack coming in as well from the big Frostworm up in the sky, and the Javelins are still throwing in and getting some really big damage here to some of Felcon's forces, but for the most part, Throg able to punch back, but man, those Skin Wolves for Wintertooth certainly taking quite a bit of a beating. Some of the Hounds in the back for Felcon are intercepted by Marauders of Flying Taco, and unfortunately these Trolls are pushed back, and now from here Felcon will be able to chase them off with the Marauder Horsemen, which is going to be quite punishing. In the front line here, Berserkers and Ice Trolls proven to be very, very strong, forcing back Marauders, forcing back Skin Wolves, and the Berserkers still chewing through another group of Skin Wolves. And the Frostworm now is going to be coming in to shut down the Javelins, which are very powerful. And the duel is still underway here. We have Throg against Wulfric, and Throg is taking quite a bit of damage, but so is Wulfric. Throg, of course, anti-large, and he heals, whereas Wulfric does not. So even if Throg loses this duel, as long as he doesn't like break and get chased off the battlefield, he could be in pretty good shape. Now here, of course, we do have the War Mammoth. Plague of Rust activated, putting him down to 0 armor, and Felcon with a very good surround. And honestly, I think this spells doom for Wintertooth. The War Shrine Mammoth is taking a ton of damage from Miststalkers, from anti-large werewolves with 0 armor, and of course a ton of Javelin fire. And the Norscan Trolls are being pushed back, the Norscan Ice Trolls. Wulfric did take quite a bit of damage from Throg Daddy. Currently, Wintertooth is relatively far behind here. He does have the Wintertooth Crown as well to probably give Unbreakable. I don't know if it's off cooldown right now, but if he does, he should use it. But the Norscan Trolls do break, and it seems like Felcon is coming ahead in this game. As the War Shrine Mammoth is broken, that's pretty devastating, and Felcon is not going to let that come back. His Marauder Wolfies, or Marauder Horsemen here, are going to be chasing down the War Shrine Mammoth. Granted, some of the Norscan Trolls do come back from route, and some Javelins are back for Wintertooth, but a bit of a mass exodus here. As Wulfric, though he did take a huge beating from Throg and is almost dead here, it looks like he was able to get better engagements across the battlefield. And the Norscan Trolls coming in will lay a bit of a beating on these guys, but the Dragon should be able to terror out them. Marauder Horsemen with their missile attacks will hurt these very lightly armored Trolls. Well, actually 60 armor isn't bad. And Throg able to karate kick Wulfric in the back. Wulfric, of course, very low, 1800 HP. Throg certainly winning that duel, even though he's like fully surrounded, which is quite impressive. But in this case, I think the mobile play here from Falcon with the Marauder Horsemen and the dogs was very impactful. He's able to shut down the javelins, overload the flank very well, isolate the War Mammoth with like no support, and from there, I think Falcon was able to win the game due to those reasons. So well played, Wulfric, showing Throg that he is the true ruler of Norska. And that's going to be game 1 for Falcon in this best of 5. So now I would imagine the more serious picks shall come out. We're going to probably see Taco's Beastmen, Falcon's Lizardmen, all that kind of good stuff. Now for the next map, let's go ahead and do Schwarzhofen here. GG, well played. Please no more mirrors. Unless you have to. All right, so here we go. I just begged them. They can if they want, but we'll see. Norska versus Norska. Yeah, bad matchup for sure. So we'll see, guys. Flying Taco dropping the first game here. Will Falcon win this best of 5? We move into the next match. And I did miss a couple donations during that game from Iron Panther. Pretty sweet name, dude. $2 coming in. Still need our chubs taken care of from Britonia. I know. You guys really got blue-balled there. And Flying Dutchman as well with the fiber to buy some aspirin to deal with the headache. So Iron Panther, sorry I missed that one earlier. I did see the aspirin comment. So please no more mirrors unless you have to. I mean, they can mirror every game if they want. I'm not going to stop them, but if they think it's like a good tactical choice to go a mirror match, then that's fine. Falcon going for Lizards. No surprise there. Lizards were banned, so he can play Lizards, but it looks like they're jumping around right now. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Taco's now on the back foot, heals against the lava, so just like the movies, Anakin doing pretty well in the duel up until the end. Taco, do it for all the Mexican food, says Guac. Oh my god. Yeah, at least we got sub-factions there, which is nice, but the sub-faction is a bit of a nerf, too. Yeah, it's a bit of a nerf, because, like, you know the Lord they're taking. Beastmen versus Warherds? God, no, please. Please, no. Oh my god, the worst one would be, like, a vampire count mirror. If we got, like, Von Karstein's versus vampire counts, I would just be like, end me. I'm too weak to finish this stream. End me. That would really suck for sure. Yeah, so Falcon sitting on Dark Elves. So perhaps that's his scheme here. We will see if Taco is able to come back. I would imagine if Falcon goes Dark Elves, he'll probably ban Beastmen. Because I know Taco loves his Beastmen. Oh, he's banning Tomb Kings. Yeah, that's a good play. Because actually Tomb Kings are so good against Dark Elves. So yeah, Taco probably will pick Beastmen here. Oh, Greenskins actually. Oh, we're getting a good proper Wah. Yes, the green tide cometh. So he's picking Greenskins. I'm curious how he's going to deal with this. I always feel like it's really hard to protect Greenskin Lords, but I would imagine he'll just go with Azag up in the sky. That's really the safe pick. Wurzog just gets sniped so easily in so many matchups, but he's so good too. That's like what's really painful about it. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so we got Dark Elves versus Greenskins in our second game, guys, in this best of 5. Andrew Henderson, I have not played Underworlds. No, I know Sotek and Sparty were playing it. I haven't tried it myself. Gorst versus Kemmler summon match. Oh god, that would be miserable. Like double Mortis engines fighting and just negating each other so there's like no damage on the battlefield. Manfred on foot versus Vlad. It depends. It would depend on if Manfred was using death magic. He might be able to win with Spirit Leeches and his superior wins of magic. But Vlad in just a straight up duel would probably win. But if magic was allowed, I think Manfred would win. Oh, this is best of 5. Yeah, an all-mirror match would be a test of the players. Certainly would be to an extent. Oh my god, if he brings Grimgor. Oh, please don't bring Grimgor. That's just like giving Falcon the game. Because no matter how hard Falcon memes with Dark Elves, there's nothing as bad as Grimgor. Like, if he brings a high Beastmaster, that guy's good. He has a Tormentor Sword and some really good buffs. If he brings, like, a Dreadlord with, like, any variant, it's going to be better than Grimgor, especially if it's on a mount. There's, like, no way Dark Elf can meme. Even Crone Hellebron's way better than Grimgor. Like, there's no way the meme could be matched. Although Falcon probably will bring Chill of Santar here, but as much as people joke about Chill of Santar, it's actually not a bad unit. in a lot of matchups. And against Greenskins, I think Chill of Sontar is quite good. It can absorb a lot of the missile play, then fall back, regenerate, come back, get its healing procs, and like win the game with terror routes. The Chill of Sontar is quite strong. I think it's good in the Greenskin matchup too. Yeah, there will be a Chill of Sontar. We saw the Supreme Sorceress get wrecked pretty hard earlier. That was pretty brutal for sure. Pretty brutal, my friends. So yeah, Greenskins, what do they do here? I mean, Blackworks can be okay. Daka lines are always very powerful. Of course, we've seen people use Marathi and the Death Star of all the debuffs with the shrines. Maybe Falcon will do that. But of course, we'll see the Chill of Sontar. Probably Chill of Sontar, some like Dread Spears, and then a bunch of Cav, I think, is like kind of suits Falcon's playstyle. For Taco, I haven't seen him play Greenskins in a while. His main factions, from what I've seen, are Beastmen and Tomb Kings. We haven't seen either of those yet. Tomb Kings were banned here, so Taco will be able to bring Tomb Kings for Game 3. But, you know, he's got to get a game here to take some of the pressure off. Going down 2-0 is very stressful in a best of 5. And even if you're not tilting, it takes a big psychological toll on you. If we get to Game 5, it should be a Dwarf versus Dwarf grudge match. Oh god, please no. The Shill of Sontar. What is the Shill of Sontar shilling? Who knows? So the players picking their armies. Good luck to both of these lads. These champs. Either way, XMT is victorious this day. And yes, I can see they're all in chat right now. Hanging out. Actually talking to each other. Oh, that's awesome. Good lads, good lads. Yeah, Dark Elves. I mean, yeah, maybe like some monstrous play. Falcon could go for like a bit of a Mimi build that still has some teeth. Like you could go like double Hydra. Or Hydra and like a Black Dragon and, you know, something like that. I mean, monsters are very powerful against Greenskins, but Greenskins, of course, the Jaka lines have proved to be pretty efficient. Taco, I think 100% will go Azag. That would be my guess. Maybe we could see like a wild Night Goblin Warboss pick for the Tormentor Sword to lock down the big targets. But I really think it would be Azag. Spirit Leech and Buna are both pretty good in this matchup. But really just bring just Spirit Leech. And something you see from Greenskins a lot, and what I really like to do is bring Azag with Spirit Leech and then bring 2 Goblin Shamans. One with the Vindictive Glare and one with no spells, and just bring the mana batteries on both of them. So you can get like 1,000,000 Spirit Leeches. It's really, really strong. I think that's probably something that we'll see. It gives you good sniping too. Vindictive Glare plus Spirit Leech can goon down big targets pretty well, like a Malekith type character or Marathi or something. I don't think we'll see the Hogmaster Wurzog. It's so risky. Although Dark Elf sniping, what do they have? I mean, yeah, I suppose you could bring Wurzag here. Because, like, Dark Elves don't... I mean, Soul Stealer can nuke him down pretty hard, though, for sure. But there's not, like, a Spirit Leech... I mean, unless Falcon goes Supreme Sorceress, which I don't think he will. I think Falcon really likes those big kind of engagements and will probably use the Soul Stealer. That would just be my 2 cents, though. So Taco making the final tweaks to his build. And we'll hang tight here for a second. Skarsnik, yeah, Skarsnik is unfortunately pretty weak. We could see some Medusas, actually. Yeah, I mean, I can see Falcon bringing that. Knowing he's up a game, I think he could take some risks. And even in, like, the Everchosen, we saw Falcon against Talaxon Soothsayer in the semifinals, I believe. Was it the semifinals or the grand finals? It might have been the grand finals. And he brought a Dread Saurian into, like, a missile matchup, like, and was able to do very well. And he was for sure memeing, and he still won the game against, like, one of the best players in the world. So, I mean, he can bring these things and maybe make them work. And, you know, even they can't catch people off guard because, you know, people don't expect the Medusa to be brought like ever because it's just not a very good unit. But the Siren of Red Ruin has AoE kind of damage with the something whale, I forget what it's called. So it can do some decent work, but yeah, it's just they're jankety. It would be really cool to see like a Medusa kite build. Like just like Scourge Runners, Medusas, you know, the altars. Just like full Haggard Kite with a bunch of Cold One Knights to like support. Greenskins have some pretty good rushing elements though. Spider Riders are pretty good at tar pitting things and applying poison. And of course they have like little Haggard Wolf Rider Archers and Morgrips Maging Marauders who can do some work. Yep. All right, so we got a Hydra. Or a Medusa, sorry. So up in the sky we have Malekith with Soul Stealer, no surprise there, and Destroyer to add to the cooldowns. Dark Riders, Doomfire Warlocks, a huge core of Doomfire Warlocks. 3 of them, including Dark Riders. Looks like a couple Dread Spears just to kind of sit in the back and just like not do anything until they have to. And a wild Bloodrack Medusa. This is going to be fun. So The build's very, very solid. Obviously, the Medusa is the one thing that's a little bit memey here, but it does cause terror, which isn't terrible against Greenskin, so we'll see how the Medusa does. And yeah, that's it. So for the Forces of Flying Taco, let's take a look. It's got 2 Black Orcs, Goblins into the Sunset, Double Giant coming in from Flying Taco with a Wurzag. Obviously, having a snare here is going to be quite useful for these very slow Giants. Goblin Shaman with a slow, Orc Biggins in the back, and Spider Riders into the Sunset. So I'm a little bit concerned about how the Double Giant is going to do against all the skirmish here. Granted, if microed effectively, Flying Taco does have the Spider Rider Archers, which should be able to counterplay the Dark Riders because they beat them in combat, and of course are around the same speed more or less, I think. Yeah, these are Wolf Rider Archers, and I think one of them was on a Spider. Yeah, interesting choice there. And a couple Spider Riders. Yeah, it's a good build. It's really going to come down to the counter skirmishing. That's like literally what this game's going to be. Because the Giants, like, if the Giants just get picked apart by the repeater crossbows, it just won't matter. But yeah, it's a good build. I like it. Wurzag's going to be huge. If Malekith gets caught on the ground in one bad situation, the Giants take him to Pound Town. It can be scary. Doomfire Warlocks are really good against Greenskins too, though. But not so much against Black Orcs. Honestly, the Black Orcs are a really solid pick as well. The Black Orcs are, there's not much here aside from Malekith and the Medusa that can do a lot against them. And, of course, repeater crossbows. But in terms of the infantry game, or melee fight. So the Dark Riders with the crossbows are going to be running forward. Flying Taco has not moved his skirmishers yet. He needs to pull those guys back because the repeater crossbows will certainly hurt pretty bad. Is he going to take any casualties? It looks like no casualties, just a couple bolt shafts going into the hide of those Wolf Riders. See, they pull back, and no casualties for either player. So it looks like the main line for the Dark Elves is advancing. Bleak Swords and company are coming up to fight, but man, Felcon has a huge mobile army. That is a lot of mobility, a lot of micro for sure. Not going to be easy. But now the Greenskins will be advancing. Effigy of the Git could be popped, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see it used on like some Dark Riders to try and pin them down, but he needs to make sure he's like close enough. Black Orcs taking some nasty damage. Gaze of Malice from Malekith going down as well. On the Night Goblins here, brutal damage right there. Oof. Half health. Those guys got Shrek pretty good. Oh, but they get the Fanatics out. Look at this. The Fanatics are going through and doing some good damage, actually. Look at that. Taking those Dark Riders down to Pound Town are those Fanatics. Now, the Giants are screaming forward as well, and repeater crossbows cannot shoot while they run. So the Giants are able to force some of them back. Spider Riders kind of waiting in the wings, but they will lose to Doomfire Warlocks in combat, especially with the Soul Stealers. So the Greenskins can't really take a safe blob fight outside of their main army. Because if they try to, of course, Malekith will go pretty deep. Oh, but look at this. Effigy of the Git going down to the Medusa. Oh, the Giants are coming, but the first one kind of misses. The other one's like awkwardly behind it. He definitely needs to do some pathing to try and get it. Oh, and the clubbing coming down. It's going to be wearing off here in a second, so we'll see if the Giants can do any more damage. Yeah, it looks like they're missing a lot, which is really unfortunate. Repeater crossbow shooting in, and now on the flank here, we have the Doomfire Warlocks fighting Spider Riders, and we have our big blob fight. So the Giants taking a lot of damage, but the Medusa is able to get away. Yeah, man, that did not work out well. Now, Goblins and Black Orcs and everyone else is going to be pushing in. The Giants need to get back. Man, that one Giant is getting peppered. It's getting lit up like a Christmas tree here. Bloodrock Medusa, pretty good shape. Just going to be shooting, and it will hit really hard here. Check that out. Yeah, able to pick off some of those big ones. But obviously, the Black Orcs and the Goblins able to break the front line here. In the back, it's actually not going terribly for the Greenskins. Slaanesh's Harvesters push back. The other Doomfire Warlock is really damaged. As far as like value accrued, that is a win here for the Greenskins because a lot of damage was put on those very expensive Harvesters. But now the issue becomes the repeater crossbows, just freebie shooting into the Giant here. I don't know if the Giant needs to run or what needs to happen here, but that Giant is taking a royal pounding. And the Effigy Gambit didn't work out so well. They weren't able to get too much damage on the Medusa. One of them was able to get a nice clubbing shot, but for the most part, it was a relatively rough engagement. So Giants coming in here. If Taco can like use some Goblins or something to screen out these guys, I don't know, he needs to put some pressure on the repeater crossbows. Brainbuster is going to be going down. Nice Brainbuster right there on top of the Dark Riders doing some great damage. And now the Medusa is getting clubbed once again by this Giant. The other Giant, though, afflicted by Soul Blight, maybe looking for an engagement here. Slaanesh's Harvesters are pushed back, and the Spider Rider is able to get another good engagement against Dark Riders here. Nice breath attack from Felcon as well to the Goblins here. But the Black Orcs are pushing forward quite healthy. And the Bloodrock Medusa is almost done for, actually. Very, very low. So it's a close fight. Certainly anyone's game at this point. I would say slightly maybe Druchii favored simply because that Giant is so beat up. But there's been a lot of great engagements for both sides. Obviously, Malekith might be looking to snipe Wurzag as well. And you can see, yeah, Felcon wants it. He wants it. He's coming for that. The one Giant has been stabilized, though, which is good, which means it's going to be able to fight here and at least accrue some value. And this Giant is going after the Medusa very aggressively as the Black Orcs eat a ton of firepower here from the Dark Elf Skirmishers. Wurzag falling back once again. Spider Rider's able to clean up here. And now if the Spider Riders get these repeater crossbows from Felcon, that's going to be big. If Flying Taco sees this, that he can get a free pick here, that would be massive. But it looks like he hasn't quite noticed yet, unfortunately. And now it looks like Malekith is going to be rear charging this Giant here. Wanded Pyridon or Doombolt going down on the Giant here. And there is going to be a buff going down on the Giant, giving it Fist of War to counteract the Word of Pain. Now, what is this Giant going to do? Is it going to run? Or is it going to turn and try and fight and beat down the Medusa? Might as well try and kill the Medusa here, I think. Balance of Power currently favored here for the Druchii. And you can see here the Bloodrock Medusa is forced back. FG of Dagit going down on Malekith here. He might take some damage, but honestly, the Giant's in such a precarious situation. The Blackworks are nearby and doing a really good job and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel like the repeater crossbow play from Felcon this game has been really damn good. So the Giant's falling back a little bit. Wurzog's coming in on his hog. I mean, all hands on deck here. Charging into the back of Malekith, and Malekith's actually taking a lot of damage, guys. The Blackworks are not going to break easily also. They're immune to psychology, so the terror route isn't going to be an issue here. But the Giant getting worn down by those repeater crossbows is so nasty. And you can see as far as its HP goes, about 1,200. The other Giant has 600. Might actually come back if Felcon doesn't chase it off. The Greenskin Skirmishers have kind of taken over the battlefield, though, in terms of the mobile game. The Dark Elves don't really have too much left aside from the repeater crossbows. Spider Riders here, pulling back, trying to get into a safe position. And the one Giant here has stabilized. Both Giants are actually, here. This Giant might come back. 21 leadership, if it does come back, that's actually a bit of an issue for the Druchii. And the Blackwork's proven to be a real kind of stable force here. The other Giant is going to be taken out. Down it goes, falling amongst the Druchii here, crushing some of the Dread Spears. But the Blackworks are still here. They're still going strong. Malekith is going to be a big issue for Wurzog, though. Wurzog obviously doesn't want to fight him in combat. The other Giant does stabilize, though. That's really big for the Taco, because it'll take Malekith about 2 hits to kill the Giant. And honestly, if the repeater crossbows run out of ammo, the Greenskins might be able to win just by anchoring on Blackworks and using their riders here, because these Wolf Rider archers can actually put a lot of damage on Malekith. It's not like going to burst him down instantly, but over the course of a grindy fight, it could go either way. And guys, the Balance of Power is pulling into the favor here of the Greenskins. Is the Wog going to be able to pull this one back? Maybe so. It's been great play on both sides. So here are the Blackworks pushing forward. Goblin Wolf Rider archers need to be careful with their lives, that's for sure. I think all hands need to be on deck to go after Malekith. I think there's still a second Effigy of Dagit coming down. Actually, no, he used both, I think. I think it was used on Malekith before the second time. The Goblin Wolf Rider archers proven to be huge MVPs, really claiming the mobile game. Blackworks are going to be charging into combat with the Giant. I wonder if Malekith will go for the Giant here. I think he's trying to rotate the repeater crossbows to finish the Giant, which is a really smart play. Spider Riders falling back. Slaanesh Harvesters, Doomfire Warlocks, just Doomfire Warlocks, getting very low. Now the Giant needs to run for sure. He does not want to give it up for free. He wants to make his opponent work hard for that one. But Wurzog getting gooned here. What help does he have nearby? He needs to pull in something. This is actually changing the Balance of Power back for the Dark Elves. And a Gaze of Malice, oh, that's so good. That Gaze of Malice was a thing of beauty right there. But the Giant's still here. The Blackorcs are still here. But Wurzog is kind of in the danger zone, guys. Malekith is pretty healthy. In the meantime, we have the Goblin Wolf Rider archers just kiting, able to finish off the Warlocks. I think Wurzog needs to just run like as far as he can over here. And he needs to use all of his remaining ammunition to finish off Malekith. Gork'll Fix-It popped, which does, of course, slow him down to a very, very slow speed here. Black Orcs basically just pushing out against the Dark Riders here. The repeater crossbows trying to keep them at bay, but they're getting pretty low themselves. Vindictive Glare coming in. Oh, no, that was Gaze of Mork going in against Malekith, who's still very slow, which is pretty hilarious. Yeah, these Goblin Archers need to really just start focusing on Malekith. Otherwise, he's just going to be too much of a powerhouse to stop. We have Doomfire Warlocks charging in once again, which at the very least will waste the ammo here of the Greenskins. And it looks like the Dark Elves are pulling ahead in this game. I think Malekith is going to be too much. I don't see what can stop him here. There are some Black Orcs. I think the Giant's dead as well. It looks like the Giant was picked. And now the Dark Elves have a pretty good core of units left. The Dark Riders, they have all kinds of stuff going on here. The Goblin Wolf Rider Archers are coming back, which could be nice. It looks like another missile attack going into Malekith up in the sky. 2,400, and it pops him. Oh, man. A Matrix juke by Malekith. And here, the Wolf Riders probably coming in to maybe make sure Wurzog doesn't get gooned on his pig. Flying Taco's going to have to juke so well here. Oh, and he unfortunately cuts right into Malekith. And that is going to be the end for this hog, as Soul Stealer's probably coming down as well. And that will heal Malekith, making the game even tougher for the Greenskins to take. And that is going to be game 2 for Felcon. There's no way at this point. Dark Riders coming in, able to outdo the Greenskin Skirmishers. And what a scrap. Man, that was a close battle. Greenskins were certainly ahead there at the end, but the Giants getting hammered by the repeater crossbows was just too much. And that is going to be game 2 going for Felcon. Will he claim Season 4? Now I would imagine Beastmen, Tomb Kings on the table here. Yes. Well, quite healthy is kind of a situational thing, Greven, because when I say it's quite healthy at the late game, the 30-40% in the late game is kind of healthy, in my opinion. So, game 2, going for the Felcon. Yes. We have a donation coming in from Lich109. He says, fun fact, using the Chill of Santar's Ice Breath on dwarfs, drinking warm beer actually removes a grudge. There you go. There you go. I like that. Thank you so much, Lich109. And now for the last map, let's go ahead and put him on the Sword of Torgold. So we will see what they do here as we load in. All right, checking it, checking it. He won with the Medusa, even though the Medusa got crumped. Perhaps we'll have to have a best of with Imperator and Falcon, or Taco if he's able to come back. I believe in the Taco, guys. So Falcon goes Lizards and bans Vampires. So it's going to be, wow, Taco going Dark Elves. I'm surprised. I actually thought we would see a Tomb King pick here. You know, on that same note, I mean, Taco is in a decent position in some ways, because if he's able to win this in a matchup that isn't bad for Dark Elves by any stretch of the imagination, he then has his Beastmen and Tomb Kings in the back pocket, whereas Falcon has used a couple of his best races already. So there is a glimmer of hope here for the Taco, for the clanmates that do battle. Yeah, well, last map. For some reason, I'm in the mindset it's a best of 3, but no, it's certainly far from over. It is certainly far from over. All right, let's switch up here, guys. Everything looks good. Today we've been blessed by the internet gods with only a couple frames dropping. Falcon is on his Lizards. Taco did have a 2-1 victory over Talaxilon Soothsayer in the round of 8. And of course was able to have a 2-0 victory over A-Move Hacker. A-Move Hacker did defeat Zablaski in the original round of 8. And then Zablaski had a really close series with Falcon, so certainly it's attainable. Falcon's banning Vampires. Yeah, it's going to be Druchii. I'm really surprised we didn't see Tomb Kings. Some great bow play could be really strong here. But we are in Sword of Torgold. It's a relatively open field map. Probably some Scourge Runners. This is best of 5, yes. Taco needs to deploy some serious action for sure. I would imagine we're going to see, you know, Malekith, Marathi, the classics, Soul Stealer to win the blob fights, Scourge Runner Chariots, Repeater Crossbows, Mobile Army. I think that's how we're going to see it. But, you know, Falcon probably will respond in kind and bring, like, Laser Dinos and try and, like, hold. Yeah. I don't remember what he banned in game 1, because they both played a Norse game. I think he banned Lizards in game 1, so he obviously can't ban Falcon's Lizards over and over. Yeah, Ancient Segadon is pretty decent too, with the Ballistas to counter the range play of the Dark Elves. But I wonder if Taco will know this and kind of have some sort of a mind game. Dread Saurian? Honestly, we could see a Dread Saurian. All right, perfect. The Dark Elves cometh. They come for blood. Double Hydra. You know, Double Hydra could... I don't know. Falcon usually plays with a lot of skink cohorts and chameleons and stuff. Hydra's will to get melted by that. I think Flying Taco is going to... You know, the last time we actually saw Falcon play this matchup was in my faction. One of my faction wars. The first one, Falcon played Lizardmen against Hadries on the Dark Elves. And he did lose that game. So perhaps Taco will go do some research on that build. But again, Falcon, ever the challenger, or the terror in the night, I'm sure has adapted his build to shore up any weaknesses. The real finals is Imperator versus Internet Provider. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Arnob? Hope you're doing well, man. Ah, oh, poor NP. This Internet Provider just like not letting him play today. It's like, nope. And we didn't know beforehand. That was the problem. Like, had Imperator been like the first game, for example, and we knew there was an issue, we might have actually just like delayed the stream until it was fixed. But like considering the first set had already played, and yeah, it's a tricky situation. And we didn't know how long it would take to fix either. Could have been like, you know, the rest of the day or the whole day. Yeah, Lizardmen have some great options here. They can play the counter skirmishing game. I really think Falcon will either go with the Stegodons with the long-range ballistas, or he'll go with the laser dinos. That would be my guess. I painted up a Plague Marine last night. Maybe I'll put it on the community section. Lady Turin and I did some 40K painting. I'm trying to get my Death Guard army ready for when the Psychic Awakening hits and they finally become decent. Although I probably won't have anyone to play with for quite some time. I think this is unfortunately going to last a while. Probably at least a couple months. Many businesses are saying like, oh yeah, we'll consider reopening in early April. But I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be that quick. Yeah, I feel really bad for what everyone's going through in Italy. It's pretty tragic for sure. Oh man. All right, here we go, guys. Battle's underway. The grand finale. Let us distract ourselves from all of the hardships in the world and focus on this glorious battle between Falcon and Flying Taco. Should be quite a bit fun. Sword of Torgold, one of my favorite maps. A nice open field map with a cool ravine. All kinds of neat stuff. I'm really actually quite curious about the builds here. Let's see what they bring. And yes, guys, going to be streams all throughout the week. Maybe every day. I might take a day off here and there just to let my hands rest, but we'll certainly find out. Wow, look at this. All right, so Falcon actually doing something a little bit different. So for Falcon's army, he's got Mazda Mundi, double Sacred Kroxigor with their power fists. He does also have an Ancient Salamander, some Skinks, cohorts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow, what a weird army. The Power Fist Kroxigors, a Pterodon Air Force, an Ancient Salamander. What year is this? What planet are we on? Now for the Forces of Flying Taco, very defensive build. 2 groups of the Black Guard. Reaper Bolt Throwers in the back, which will be a hard counter against the Salamander if used effectively. We have Malekith up in the sky, Repeater Crossbows, Harvesters, Coldwind Knights to have a good mobile presence, and that's pretty much it. This is a pretty defensive build for sure. And I think it's good. Honestly, I think the Repeater Bolt Throwers or the Reaper Bolt Throwers should be quite good against the Ancient Salamander. The Kroxigor Rush could honestly break through the front line, but there are Black Guard at the back, which should be able to beat them. So both players certainly have some teeth. Falcon with a very unorthodox build, but I'm sure he's practiced this before, or at least tried and experimented here. The Sacred Kroxigors do hit very hard. 120. They can certainly crump infantry pretty hard and also beat on single entities surprisingly well if they can get the good surround. No Scourge Runners actually from Taco. I was really expecting that. Scourge Runners are just so powerful. But yeah, I guess, that's what people expect, right? So he's trying to kind of, change things up. I would imagine Falcon will come in with his Air Force with the Pterodon Riders and try and drop rocks on top of the Reaper Bolt Throwers and or the Black Guard. That would be my guess. Malekith up in the sky, waiting in the wings, biding his time. And the battle is now underway, my friends, as the Pterodon Riders and the Lizards advance. And honestly, the Ancient Salamander could be a game winner too. If it's able to survive the Bolt Throwers and hide in this ravine and then shoot at the Black Guard, it has massive splash damage. So the first of the bolts are being unleashed. A couple of Pterodons getting picked on a little bit there with the initial volleys, but not too much damage. But the Ancient Salamander needs to pay the troll toll. If that thing lives and is able to shoot into the Black Guard, yeah, you can see immediately Flying Taco knows this. It's the choicest target here. Falcon, of course, juking pretty effectively and probably will be able to hide in the ravines. Now the Dark Riders, what are they going to shoot at? Skink Skirmishers initially, of course, but he could just move the Dread Spears up to kind of screen those guys out. And this is actually a pretty scary rush here from the Dinos. That's even though the Sacred Kroxigors aren't the most efficient unit in the game, they still hit really hard. And with Mazda Mundi coming in, like the Dreadspear front line probably will buckle down. Malekith's going to have some really good counter charges, really good Soul Stealers, and really good positioning, I think. So the Bolt Throwers are a little bit awkward now. You can see that he's trying to move them back. So Flying Taco moving back his main force because of the ravine. The Lizards are able to hide there. So the Ancient Salamander has a really good kind of mortar arc of fire. So he's going to be able to shoot up and pepper. And here comes the first volley. Nice little shot there. Only took out one of the Dark Riders, surprisingly. Ancient Salamanders are really good against infantry. Typically, they're not terribly effective against much else. Oh no, but a net going down on one of the Dark Riders. And the cohorts are going to come in, and the Skink cohorts will annihilate these guys with the Javelins. Still another half duration. Yeah, you can see that's brutal. Ouch! Dark Riders here getting netted down by Mazda Mundi. Gaze and Malice going down as well, which really nice contact with the Skinks, but the Pterodon Air Force is coming in. One of the Dark Riders is completely eliminated here in the early game. And, of course, the Reaper Bolt Throwers are still shooting. Looks like they're going after Mazda right now. Dark Elf's taking quite a bit of damage. We haven't seen an activation of the mobile units yet. I think he's just going to take a very defensive posture. A rock drop going down to the Dread Spears is actually able to do some big damage. And the Kroxigors haven't even really engaged yet. And one of the Repeater Crossbows is gone. And the Bolt Throwers, I guess they're just shooting at Jabba. I'm not sure. Maybe they want to switch up into the sky, go after the Pterodons at this point. It's hard to say. Falcon's so good with the Javelin play. Now the Skink cohorts have engaged. The Ancient Salamander moving into combat. What is going on here? This might be a huge misplay by Falcon if he gets caught here. But it looks like he realizes he accidentally overextended with the Salamander, or maybe it was intentional. And now he's pulling back, and the Coldwind Knights are being sent in, but obviously they're not going to have too many targets here. Flying Taco still flying overhead with Malekith. Falcon's army still surrounding on the flanks. And the Sacred Crocscores haven't even gotten their hands dirty yet. Now they're going to be jumping on the Coldon Riders, who are not going to get the charge. And the Crocscores just splashing in the water here as Malekith comes in. I would imagine a Soul Stealer is going to be used here. Yeah, it's going to hit the Crocscores. It's going to hit the Skinks. This is a really good Soul Stealer. It's going to hit everything here and should do some huge damage. However, Mazda Mundi is responding with Ruination of Cities, it looks like. Boom! Ruination going right through those Coldon Knights. Big damage right there, but the Soul Stealer, still a better situation for the Druchii. In the meantime, Slaanesha's Harvesters and the Black Guard pushing in to intercept the advance here of the Lizards. But now the backline is free, and the Pterodons can spring their trap. Both Bolt Throwers probably here honestly going to go down. There's not too many supporting elements nearby. Maybe the Coldon Knights, if they don't break here, can come and stop this. Yeah, and you can see the Repeater Crossbows trying to come back, but the Lizards seem to really be crumping the front line. I mean, the very cost-effective trading here for the cohort of Sotek to be beating on the Black Guard. And the Power Fist Croxagores are all in really good health, and they're just crumping these Dark Elf troops here. Slaanesha's Harvesters, look at this guy. He's just going to get the massive Power Fist right to the face. Come on, we got to watch this. Give it to us. Oh, and the guy punches a rock right into his face. Ouch. Malekith's very beat up as well. And the Sacred Croxagore Ancient Salamander Rush, what is this? Is it going to take the finals of ECL Season 4 with a 3-0 sweep? Perhaps so. Malekith, in the meantime, on the hunt. Going to be going after the Powhawks of Sentinels. And here you can see, my friends, the Sacred Croxagores, a little bit beat up. Balance of Power does ebb back towards the middle ever so slightly, but I think there's just too many things going in the favor of the Lizards. The Pterodons are just trolling in the back, able to shut down the Bolt Throwers. All the Bolt Throwers are offline. And now Big Thick Mazda Mundi. What's going to stop him? I mean, Malekith can, and that's a beautiful Soul Stealer. That was a thing of beauty right there. It's going to be going after the Ancient Salamander. Maybe, no, going after Mazda, actually. But taking all this cohort and Skink Fire, really pretty much counteracts the Soul Stealer healing. And the Sacred Croxagores with their Power Fists are just going to be piling in, beating on Malekith. Mazda Mundi's coming in as well. Gets a huge ramming attack in his back. And you can see here that the great Malekith probably is going to be in a bit of trouble. Granted, the Balance of Power is pulling back for the Druchii somehow, some way. I don't know if Taco is going to be able to pull this one back. He's used 2 Soul Stealers. Malekith is very beat up. There still are a fair amount of Black Guard. But, you know, there's not much like troop quality for the Lizards. It's mostly Skinks and whatnot. And the Pterodons are taken offline. And the Bolt Thrower is back online as well for the Druchii, which is big. Now shooting into Mazda Mundi. So maybe if Malekith can get some really good cycle charges, maybe go pick off this Ancient Salamander, for example, that could be quite important. And are the Dark Elves going to be able to pull this game back? Oh man, Pterodon Riders back here getting on the Bolt Thrower, though, is really painful. Nice breath attack right over the head of Mazda Mundi. But Flying Taco needs to get these Harvesters, needs to pick off the Pterodon Riders and free up his Bolt Thrower. That is a really, really important play here. So Malekith probably just wants to bide his time until he can get another Soul Stealer. I think that's what needs to happen if the Dark Elves want a chance to get back in this game. Currently, I'd say it's still Lizard favored. Granted, they're getting pretty beat up for sure. And the Slaanesha's Harvesters picking off the Pterodons back here is a very nice grab. Allowing the Bolt Throwers to come back online is going to be quite huge. Salamander shooting back here as well, getting a nice little bit of splash damage. And now Malekith is going to be hunting the Salamander, but the Salamander is very fast. Falcon reacts immediately, starts running. Malekith coming in. Oh, is that going to be a net? A net of Amnitok going down, which does free up the Salamander. The Salamander might turn and just actually shoot at Malekith. Skink Skirmishers going after Malekith as well. Balance of Power still pretty even, but Malekith, oh man, just barely gets back up in the sky, which is quite huge. But he takes a huge blast from that Salamander. That is definitely not fun. Repeater Crossbows and Coldon Knights are coming back in. Bolt Thrower is back online, which is huge. Now Mazda is taking really steady damage. Gaze of Malice going down as well in the Skink Skirmishers. And Malekith is back up in the sky, but he's being poisoned. He's very, very slow right now. Coldon Knights charging in, able to break off the Skinks. Malekith might just go for it here. Like, just go balls deep. Word of Pain going down, which is going to make Mazda quite a bit weaker. Bolt Thrower shooting into his back as well. Ruination of Cities, going to be potentially popping these Elite Halberds. And Slaanesha's Harvesters sweeping in, and the Dark Elves are pulling ahead in this game. Slaanesha's Harvester is able to clean up the back line in a very clutch play. You can see Lord Mazda Mundi with the Word of Pain is going to be very limp in combat compared to the Witch King. Granted, Witch King is being attacked here by an Ancient Salamander as well as Mazda, but Mazda is very low. The Bolt Thrower putting that steady pressure, and the Harvesters with a rear charge, and Flying Taco. Is he going to come back? It looks like it as Mazda Mundi breaks, and all the Lizards have left are some Chameleon Skinks and some Sacred Croxagores, which are pretty much on death's bed, and there's still Halberds here. And now at this point, the Ancient Salamander should be chased off, 100%. And Mazda Mundi should be chased off as well. There should be no reason that either of these characters fight again. And Flying Taco with the comeback victory over Falcon. And he's on the board, baby. 2-1 here in the series. Flying Taco's back and still has a couple of his best races to play with the Beastmen and the Tomb Kings. Man, guys, is this... Do you believe in miracles? That was a great game. Man, well played. I really thought he was on the ropes, but that was some scrappy play. That was some scrappy play. Flying Taco on the board. There you have it, my friends. Now let us go ahead and update the scorecards here. Yes. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. That was a really good game. I can't believe it. And now let's go ahead and switch on to the... I would not disrespect these guys with the Essence of Chaos. Let's give them the Tower of Hoth. It's a classic. Map is set. Now we hang out with you guys in chat. All right, Taco, not going to head out, says Maximilian. Yeah. What a comeback. Fly high, Taco, fly high. That was a great game. Malekith carried hard for sure. But getting the... It wasn't... Malekith did well, but getting the Bolt Thrower back online was so huge. The Pterodons got chased off by some rallying Harvesters as well as some of the other troops. Yeah. The Bolt Thrower coming back was the biggest thing. I don't know if... Falcon doesn't really play Skaven. Taco might. So they're working out their picks and bans. We're on Tower of Hoth, which is a very fair map. I'm trying to make sure the maps are like super fair here. But Taco has not played his Beastmen, nor has he played his Tomb Kings yet, which is really big. That's really big. Falcon's played his Lizards. He played his Wood Elves, I believe. And then, yeah. Falcon obviously is good at a ton of factions, but getting rid of the best ones there is quite good. Boxagor Tacos, yeah. Malekith is so good. Yeah, the Blackguard also anchored really long. And the Harvesters coming back to free up the Bolt Thrower was a clutch play. Like, had Taco waited like 5 seconds and not like reacted that quick with the... Yeah, okay, he's picking Beastmen and he's vanning Vampire Counts, which is a good play. That's a hard matchup for Beasties. What will Falcon pick? I would imagine, like... Kiting Beastmen is very stressful, but of course Falcon can handle it, but... I don't know. What is Falcon? He can't pick Wood Elves. I think he already played them, didn't he? Was that the previous series? Okay, so he played Lizards, and who did he win with in the other game? Am I just totally out there? I can't remember if he picked Wood Elves. Can you guys remind me who he picked in game 1? So there's maps that like certain players start on hills, or like, you know, there's just like not enough cover or terrain for like certain factions. I'm trying to pick ones that are very neutral. What did he play in the first one? Maximilian says his allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy, to Taco, because I like Skaven. I can't remember what he played in the first game. It felt like it was a long time ago. Because he's on Wood... I thought he played Wood Elves in that first game. And that might have been in his previous series. Oh, he was Norska. That's right. Okay, so he can play Wood Elves, actually. So, yeah. Okay, so it's going to be Wood Elves versus Beastmen here, which... I don't know. I always felt like this one's pretty stressful for the Woodies, because like Centaurs are really good at chasing. Granted, what a lot of Wood Elf players often do is they just go with the tree box. You know, the Durthu box. Which is pretty strong in a map like this, in which you basically bring like 2 skirmishers and just like hide your army in the forest with... It's certainly not... it can do things. It can do things. Bach Shavak, thank you so much. Make it go full series. Awesome content. Thank you so much for the 50 CZK. Appreciate it. The Warherd of Chaos. No, Pumbaa. No, Mr. Pig. The Steel Chair Malekith, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would wager this is a good matchup. And, you know, Beastmen, like, can account for both things. They can bring, like, a Gorbel and, like, some Raiders and, like, you know, and a Wild Cygor, and then also have a bunch of rushing units. To, like, so that it's doable for both players. Plus, Taco is going to probably go with the triple summon build. Spawn summons, Manticore summons, Cygor summons, which is so strong. But Wood Elves are kind of cool against it because they can, like, bait the summons and then run away. So, like, there's some cool kind of matchup nuances here. Guac, I was repressing that memory. Hey, Shetland, what's up, dude? Yes, this is the grand finals. This is it. It's 2-1 right now in this best of 5. If Falcon wins, it is over. And he will be a 3-time ECL champion. 1-time ever chosen champion. The Beastmen are... Taco is probably one of the best Beastmen players out there. He is so good at Beastmen. The only time I've really had success against his Beastmen is when I play Vampire Counts, which are a hard counter. In my opinion. Blood Knights just dunk on everything. It's like, it's so powerful there. So Falcon is ready. Taco is ready. Let us load into this final battle. The fate of the Eternal Challenger League is here. Falcon versus Flying Taco. And remember, guys, the players this Eternal Challenger League have had to climb more adversity than any season before, simply because every single qualifier was open. That means there was 30 to 60 players in each qualifier, and they had to battle through like massive competition. Whereas previous ECLs were only like 4-man flash tournaments, this ECL is like by far the most challenging. And these two are the champions, the two clanmates. Clearly they practice together a lot, which has led to a pretty powerful result of skill. And here we are on the Tower of Hoeth. Very curious to see what the Beastmen army is. I kind of have an idea of what Felcon will bring. I think we'll see a Durthu pick or some sort of a tree. Granted, you know, he is up a game, so he could afford to get a little bit wild. Yeah, so we have Durthu and we have a dragon. So it's not going to be a kite build. It's actually an aggressive build with no missiles whatsoever. So we got Durthu, we got a dragon, and we have like treekin to roadblock. And yeah, basically just dryads and cav units. So yeah, a very aggressive build. I like it. It's going to be fun. Now for the Beastmen, what do we have? We have a Cygor, Minotaurs, a Minobus. We got the Butchers of Kalkengard, Minotaurs with shields, Goreherds into the sunset, Morker, Summoner for Cygors. No Manticore Summoner, actually, which is interesting. I really thought we would see a Manticore Summoner. Really good for gooning out like Wood Elf characters and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be Morker, plus a Bray Shaman to summon Cygors. Taco loves summoning Cygors in melee combat. And we also have some Pigs and Hounds. There is a heavy chance that both of these factions will enjoy fighting in the trees. We might get that here. Oh my god, look at this. I wish I could just like turn the trees off. Because now when I zoom in, they disappear, but I wish I could just like toggle them completely off. Because for casting, it's hard. A little bit. I have to like zoom in to see, and I miss other things on the battlefield, but it's okay. Cygor is... Nope, those are hounds back there. So yeah, guys, it's just going to be a straight up monster mash in the trees, I think. I don't think there's going to be any open field fighting. This is absurd. The Goreherds are quite good. I think they lose to Dryads in a vacuum, though. But again, with a little bit of Minotaur support, that should be very doable. And the Minotaur support will be quite nasty. There are cav units from Felcon, Wild Riders, which can do work. But yeah, I don't know. I have no predictions here, honestly. It looks like Taco may have forgotten about some of the Warhounds. Hopefully he realizes he has those, because they're a nice little boon for chasing things off. And both armies, oh my god, this is such a Wood Elf versus Beastman fight. Look at that. The Wood Elves, this is like the Last Samurai. The Wood Elves charging through the Misty Forest, although there's no mist here. The Dragon coming in as well. Both players now know what's up. They're like, oh my god, it's going to be like this. The Dragon coming in as well might try and goon out the Cygor, but the Cygor is being sent into melee. It's like, screw this shit. I'm a giant. I'm going to fight. And here comes a charge. It's going to be pretty painful for the Gores. Sisters coming in. Goreherd's trying to pull back, but taking a big lancing charge, which is no surprise. And a Viletide going down. Viletide is able to return the favor a little bit on those Wild Riders there. And an Earthblood going down from Felcon, which is interesting. So now both armies advancing. Sorry, it's really hard to see, but we do have the fighting between the Dryads and the Goreherds in the trees, which is pretty cool. This is like actually like a lore-friendly fight here. And here you can see that the Cygor is actually throwing boulders instead of fighting, so he's probably throwing boulders at the treekin or something. Now the Minotaurs have come in, and this is where things get pretty crunk, because there's going to be a Spawn Summon back here, I would imagine, or a Cygor Summon. Yeah, Spawn Summon from Morker right behind this big Wood Elf line, which is going to lead to some crumbling for sure. And the Dragon's going to go after the Bray Shaman, but there are pigs back here, there's Minotaurs, so the Dragon can't really safely land. Nice little breath attack, able to get into some of those guys, but yeah, so far it's been a bit of a wash in terms of the fighting in the forest. The Goreherds have advanced here, taking big damage, but this is like the big epicenter of the fight. And the Dryads are shaken. Shield of Thorns, Felcon basically using a lot of magic to make sure his forces keep fighting here, but a Flock of Doom going down as well, which is going to be going down to the Beastmen forces. Of course, Durthu is going to be very nasty in these pit fights as well. In the meantime, Cygor getting rear charged by the big old forest dragon, a little bit surrounded and pinned in by treekin as well. There are some Razor Gores nearby who can help out. So far, it's, again, not wet noodle contest, but a bit of a wash. There still is a Cygor summon, and another Spawn Summon will be coming on relatively shortly. The Dryads here in the center do break. The treekin holding really firm, though. The treekin proving to be really, really good picks here. I mean, they're anchoring, holding back the Minotaurs, and really allowing the Eternal Guard to get their anti-large attacks in. Here you can see the Sisters of Thorn are kind of sitting on the flanks, just trying to get attacks where they can. The Minotaurs, unfortunately for the Beastmen, bit of a misplay here by Taco, have engaged into spears without any support. Taco 100% needs to pull these guys back, reroute them up and around the back, and try and get his things going here. Now, some of the Hounds from Taco have come in the back, trying to rear charge into the Wild Riders, but the Riders should be able to kill them very, very quickly. But Spears and Gores are pushing in, and the Wood Elves are slowly getting worn down here in this fight. However, the Beastmen are very, very summon dependent here. As you can see, a Cygor summon has gone down, and we do have two Cygors basically just beating on Durthu here, which is pretty ridiculous. The Dragon takes a little bit of damage from the Cygors. One Cygor, the actual Cygor, looks like it is going to break here and run, which I would imagine the Wood Elves should be able to capitalize on and chase down. Balance of power is really even at this point, but that's not a good thing for the Beastmen, because there's a lot of summons out here, right? So that's kind of their their whole jam. Some of the drives are being worked down, though, by the Mino bus out here, and this Cygor will be chased down. There are some pigs, and the Butchers of Kalkengard are back here as well. So maybe if Taco can get the Butchers of Kalkengard to save the Cygor, that'd be quite nice, but it looks like he's going to opt to bring this into the mainline fight. Downward Breath attack on Morker doesn't really do a whole lot, although I think it was going after the Minotaurs here. A little bit hard to tell. Yeah, Eternal Guard getting worn down. Treekin also kind of taking a bit of a beating as well. The Forest Dragon's damaged, but Durthu is in really good shape, and he's fighting in his natural habitat. And the Cygor summon is, still occupying and causing some problems here and there. Over here, Minotaurs are isolated once again, pinned in by Sisters as well as by Spears. Pretty painful situation to lose 10 Minotaurs here to this kind of loose engagement. If the Cygor... the Cygor is back, though, so it does come with a bit of a silver lining, as that Cygor is able to rally. Bit of a mistake there from Falcon, but it's still not the end of the world. And the second spawn summon is active here from the Beastmen, so it was able to chew up some of the Dryads, and now we just have another pit fight. The Caster is here, the Bray Shaman. We still do have the Butchers of Kalkengard fighting in relatively good shape, I think. It's hard to tell where they even are. But there's Minotaurs in here, Spawner back here, and these Minotaurs are trying to run, which is very smart. And this Cygor is actually marching back into combat, going after the Sisters of the Thorn. So far it's a really even battle. I wouldn't say anybody's in a clear state of advantage. If the Wood Elves can endure this Beastmen summon wave, though, I think they'll be in a much better position. And you can see here the Caster for the Beastmen is taken out by the Dragon. The Dragon giving a lot of mobility and pressure here. And the Caster for the Beastmen is actually shattered as the Wood Elves charge back in. A second win coming in from the Wild Riders, who finished cleaning up the backline pressure. Oh my god, the trees are just making this so hard to watch. Well, I guess it's not too bad. It's kind of a fun thing anyways, right? Morker with the Sword of Daith afflicting him. And the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Spawn are still grinding it out. But the Treekin are actually proving to be a huge MVP. And Durthu, fighting in his natural habitat, able to crump the Beastmen forces with the Forest Dragon. And man, I think the Forest fight, I think it was a bit of a misplay from the Beastmen. I think the Beastmen should have stayed in open field and used the Cygors to force the Wood Elves out of the trees, because the Wood Elves have to be attackers. So at the very least, they would have to send out the Sisters, who you could then just throw boulders at until you have to fight. I don't know though, because the Wood Elves, Durthu fighting in the trees with Treekin roadblocking the Minotaurs proved to be really damn strong. And now you can see that is going to be it. Falcon is going to be the champion of the Eternal Challenger League Season 4, ending with a ridiculous forest fight. But alas, it was fun to watch. It was unique. And there you have it. So Falcon is our grand champion. Well played to him. He will be the winner of $200 US. And yeah, that is that. Durthu's got permanent stock in there. Oh, man. Well played. That is it. So guys, let's hear a big round of applause for Falcon, the triple Eternal Challenger League champion. 1, 3, and 4. Great games indeed. So let's go ahead and go to the finals bracket. Falcon is going to be the grand champion for the season. Season 4 is in the books, guys. It's in the books. Well played by Taco. It was a scrappy game. He was able to take a glorious victory off Falcon's Lizardmen, but fell just short there in that matchup. The trees are the new screen blocker. Yes, indeed. That fight was pretty forest-based, yes. It was fun to watch, though. I mean, in a way, it was cool. It was very different. All right, guys. Falcon, the triple champ, Triple Pete. Champ. The ultimate victor today, of course, is Clan XMT with the 2 players in the finals. With a great performance across the board. We got Onyage in here hanging out. We got a bunch of OGs. Life is good. So grats to Falcon, guys. He will be receiving the prize. I'm going to go send it to him right after this. Hopefully it's helpful in these dire times. And there you have it, guys. So again, I want to thank you guys all so much for all of your support over the course of Season 4 of the Eternal Challenger League. You guys have been sticking through all these streams, and despite some technical difficulties and players dropping, you guys, stayed firm and made for a good experience. So there you have it, my friends. You underestimate my summon, says Taco. Indeed. They both played a great game. And we have a donation coming in as well from Shabak. Yeah, we saw that before, so thank you so much, man. So congratulations to Russia and Falcon for their glorious victory here. And yeah, Season 4, the season of the screen blocker. Well, we'll be back with Season 5. It's going to be a little while. So in the meantime, guys, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing... we're going to be doing 2v2 tournaments and other things over the course of this week. We'll probably do some open tournaments just so players can practice in the off season. And yeah, We're going to have a lot of fun stuff. Faction Wars will be next weekend as well. Well played, Zyphos. Zyphos, of course, the champion of season 2. Well played to you, man. And thank you guys all for joining. Thank you guys, all the mods, for helping out. You guys slayed it. You fended off the foul Slanesh bots once again. No mercy was shown. No quarter to those foul demonettes. And again, thank you guys all so much for your donations. And let's go through that. From Ozkirk, great lore-friendly final showdown. Thank you for the tenor, man. From Bakshvak, thank you as well, brother. We also have a new member. From Katani, 1982. From Lich 109 for the fiber. Flying Dutchman, Iron Panther, Mr. Pig, Little Raven, Travers Wolf for becoming a member as well. Alexander Hornquist, the 19 SEK. Rando Howard, Gallahan, Italian Spartacus, Kevin McLaughlin, Vet Church, King Agizal, Simon Benjamin, who is apparently going to be putting up a donation or a prize pool. So Imperator, he wants Imperator to play Falcon this week in a best of 7 if Falcon's willing, of course. And he's putting up a prize pool of $50 for the players, which is quite cool. And Eurosum Sauce as well. Man Alive, Gallahan, Ozkirk, and that, I think, is it. So thank you guys so much for the very generous donations. I really do appreciate it. Magic G, thank you for the 20 to close out the stream. Really appreciate it, man. Congrats, Falcon. Falcon is an awesome dude indeed. Season 5 is going to take place after Christian. I'll probably do a separate video on that. So I'm going to take a look at your spreadsheet, evaluate it all, look at the circumstances, and then I'll do another video on that after. I think it'd be very interesting. And also, Christian, if you could, include the games from this series, because I think it's pertinent as well. I did see your message, though, so I will take a look. But Season 5 will take place after the new DLC, whenever that is. So it could be some time. Who knows? But we'll have tournaments and other, events going on in between then. So don't you guys worry. So again, guys, thank you all so much for your support. I'm going to go hang out with my lovely smoking hot wife and enjoy some kielbasa that we bought. And that is it for now. Congrats to Falcon. He's the champion of Season 4. And we will see you guys on the other side. Take care.